Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been high in a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field that Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been high in a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fuck with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoe, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need OG to keep.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been high in a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Yeah, head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never
never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Kennels live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, oh, baby, the volatility. The volatility has come in here, guys, as we are getting a little bit of a dump to the downside, getting a little pop back to the upside in the lower time frames here. But, guys, what is coming next here for Bitcoin? Shout out to anybody who tuned into the live stream last night. We took a look at some of the key levels, but I want to go over some stuff with you guys. We have a key level above us that if we are able to break, I do think it opened up the door for more upside. And we do also have a doorway to the downside, guys. So I want to talk about those key levels and what I'm expecting next year on Bitcoin. We have, I would say, mostly bearish signs on Market Cypher B. I'm going to talk about the daily, the higher time frames. We had the 4-hour money flow coming up yesterday, but obviously that got stepped on. Shout out to anybody who watched the live stream last night. We went for like 3 dang hours, yeah, we were looking for the dump, and it wound up. We got some news, and we got the dump, and, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. But I'm going to break down the charts here, guys. Obviously, we have the summit. I think it's over now. It ended at 5:30, I believe. But, yeah, I want to talk about kind of what we're looking at next here. Are we going to get the bigger drop to the downside? We still have some liquidity below, but we do have some really key levels. I'll give you the local levels, the high time frame levels, and then we've had some pretty exciting weekends recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of a move over the weekend. I'm kind of praying that things kind of stay tame. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for being here. We got F1 in the chat, said, let's go, baby. Shout out to F1. We got Gen Z in the chat. We got Jay Hundo, said, I'll say it again, $1,200 ETH. We're going to take a look at some lower levels on ETH in case we do break out of that volume profile. We do have some key levels. We showed them yesterday, but we'll show them again today. We'll take a look at some of the altcoins as well. Crypto Summit equals crypto rug pull. Shout out to Leon. Yeah, it is crazy. A lot of people are wondering, 10K in the card. Shout out to Bitfrog. But yeah, a lot of people are wondering, why are we getting dumps on these kind of bullish news events? And I explained that a little bit yesterday. I was explaining it before we even got the dump. It's not as easy as we were talking about yesterday to just hear bullish news, buy in, and make $1 million, right? If it was that easy, everybody be a billionaire. But I try to explain exactly what we see on the charts to call for these moves to the downside or the moves to the upside, whatever it is, regardless of the news, regardless of the sentiment. Usually those signs are on the chart, which is why we stick to the charts and the hard information here, keeping that emotion and the personal bias out of it. Shout out to Satoshi Stacker, says ETH goes to 1,200. I am selling the house. Shout out to Satoshi Stacker. I probably would as well. Shout out to Jesse, our like police in the chat. We got Jay Violet, said smash out large. Jesse said smash that like button on the way in. Mine was number 4. Shout out to Jesse. Let's go, baby. We got Jay Violet in the chat. What is going on? Matt Jenkins said, where are we going now? Well, we're going to talk about that right now, Matt. We got Pennywise, everybody's favorite clown, friendly clown, in the chat, dropping some balloons. But let's see. We got Gordon in the chat, said, I'm taking a break from crypto. The manipulation is just too much. The price is manipulated 24/7. I didn't sign up for this. I wanted to trade a free market. Shout out to Gordon. Yeah, we talked about that last night about how, it's a little bit of a bittersweet situation, right? Like when you get those institutions in, like, we need regulation. No one wants regulation in crypto, but it was kind of like a necessary evil in order for Bitcoin to, really get that institutional adoption. And then the institution comes in, the big money comes in, and that's where the manipulation comes in. So you kind of let the demons in when you get that mass adoption. But yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Let's see. Shout out to Gen Z. Shout out to CJ. And last but not least, shout out to Ziva Crypto Girl. What is going on? Welcome in. And yeah, let's go ahead. I put the 100 like dump it. Let's go. Shout out to Abad. Shout out to Abadamak. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump in, guys. Show some love to the mods. By the way, we are going to be doing some giveaways tonight. At Tyler Durden, at Tony D. I think we have some decent giveaways. We hit 1,000 likes on a couple of streams. I think we have a bunch of Solana to give away. And we actually might change up the giveaways to USDT just to make things nice and simple for us. But yeah, we're going to be doing the giveaways tonight as well. So stick around till the end of the stream. And maybe you can win $350 in Solana. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into a huge dumpage. Yeah, we're going to cover this, guys. I don't want anyone to get super, super scared. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. We'll break down the key levels and kind of what I'm expecting next year. Before we jump into it, I do just want to say, guys, I am currently in no trades. I am currently holding 0 trades. I'm going to go into the weekend with no trades. If it pumps, great. If it dumps, great. I will find my next positions starting next week. I just don't like going into the, especially, with this news here and, the weekends being very volatile. Unless I see like an A+ setup, I'm going to sit out until next week. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. Shout out to Because I Can Pump It. Dropping those candles in the chat. Let's get it. Let's get it. Save your soul and send me market cap. Shout out to the Art of Reed. Maybe we'll give away some hats too. Maybe we'll do some hats next week. Bears in a critical trap. Will they get wrecked? Shout out to Flatsmack. Well, we're going to take a look at that. And hey, shout out to Jay Edits. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Appreciate you. He said, the dump has just started. Frank, your TA and education stays on point. Shout out to Jay Edits, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. And hey, I'm just bringing the information here. I have no personal bias which way this thing goes because we make money whether price goes up or down, which is really nice because you want to keep the personal bias out of it because the market does not care about your feelings. Plain and simple. This is why most people get wrecked in crypto. They just want it and think it's going to keep going up because they want to get rich. That's their emotional bias, and the market does not care about that. As a matter of fact, the market will exploit that, right? So you got to be careful. But anyway, shout out to Jay Edits. Let's go ahead and jump on in here. This bull run is almost over and only for BTC for the most part. Yeah, shout out to Jennifer. We've been talking about this for a while, right? Like a lot of people think that the bull market is just getting started. This bull market has been playing out for quite some time, right? We've been going up, right? This is why a lot of the people up here are feeling pain, right? Because no one really gets interested until Bitcoin starts creeping towards 100K. They think it's time to get into Bitcoin, but really the time to get in is when everything is falling apart, right? But, even if we did continue up into new all-time highs, right? If that did happen at the end of the day, right? Let's say we go up to even 150K, right? Like we're still have been in this bull market for quite some time, right? Like that's still even from, where we are, where the current all-time high is at 109K, right? Up to 150K. It's a 37% pump to the upside, right? 40% pump to the upside if you give it a little room. That's not really like the full bull run that everyone's waiting for, right? Like, we've been coming up for quite some time, but, so I would pretty much agree with that. But let's go ahead and jump in here now, guys. Overall, I'll be honest, we took a look at a lot of key levels yesterday. We were live for like 3 hours last night, and I covered mostly everything on that stream, right? Like in the long term, I'm going to go over the higher time frames. I'll talk about the key level to the upside that we must break, and I'm going to talk about a local level of support that if we break below could call for that move down to that brutal $76,000 zone where we have the CME gap, the 786, and a daily and weekly naked point of control, which is obviously sitting right down here. But the real question is, are we going to see something like this? Or are we going to see something like this? And again, I'm going to bring up those local levels of support and resistance that we have to get above. Doorways to higher and lower prices, if you will. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on. So obviously, we have our macro volume profile up here. And, coming up to these higher time frames, guys, 2-day money flow. There is no getting around this, unfortunately. Zero getting around this. 2-day money flow is trending to the downside. Now, unless we are going to see some kind of massive fake out here on the money flow and it's going to come into a massive green wave, we have to make this. We have to make the assumption that this is going to point towards a continuation to the downside, right? This has been our thesis for quite a while, right? Ever since we were up here, we anticipated this move down to 80K, and now that this 2-day money flow is continuing out, you have to anticipate lackluster pops to the upside for lower highs and continuations down, breaking structure to lower prices. this is what we're looking at, right? And with this 2-day money flow, like this is kind of the situation that we're potentially going to see play out. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that we're definitely going to dump down here, but this is definitely like one of the main scenarios that I'm looking at, right? Again, daily money flow is coming into the red. Also have the VWAP coming down here. It's not quite printing a red dot just yet. We have about an hour to confirm that daily candle, so maybe we see that red dot pop up during the live stream, so we'll see. But I'm going to talk about why this red dot may be the thing that starts the bigger move down. So that is one thing to look at, right? Daily VWAP coming down, potential red dot incoming, and I do like the formation here on the anchor waves, or I'm sorry, on the momentum waves for a potential setup down here. But 2-day money flow is definitely pointing towards something like this happening, right? So, like, I do think this is in the cards, and we're going to get a little more nitty-gritty. We're going to jump down into the lower time frames. I'm going to give you guys an idea of how I think that plays out. And there is a bullish case as well, right? But right now, like I said, I'm in no trades, right? For the most part, I've been saying this for the past week or so. I'm really waiting to come up here to the major key level of resistance, which sits at about $96,700, all the way up to the golden pocket at about $98,746. This is a major Fibonacci level, which could be an area to put a lower high end, right? So even if we get the bullish case to play out, we still have very important resistance above. 786 value area high, also a very critical level of resistance. So, even if we do see the bull case, just understand the context of this, right? And if the bear case plays out, I'm either waiting for these higher levels or waiting for these lower levels for the next big trades, right? Other than that, in the premium Discord, we caught some nice little scalp trades within this little local range. But other than that, kind of just sitting on my hands at this point, guys. I'm out of those scalp trades, and I'm just waiting for the bigger levels to get hit. Now, 2-day money flow. These are the bearish puzzle pieces. 2-day money flow coming out, and even if you look at this, right, your VWAP, again, you can't really take too much away from this, but your VWAP's rolling over as well, right? Money flow rolling over, VWAP rolling over, right? We always talk about this. Even when money flow comes up locally, it's very likely that it could just wind up being a local lower high, right? Or not a local lower high, but just a continuation of the lower highs. So direction and trend is very important on money flow, right? In my experience. So, this is not that bullish, right? Like, this is definitely saying 76K is in the cards. Maybe I'll bring up the doomsday levels if we have to. But yeah, 76K, definitely the next big level of support. Again, not only do we have the 786, we also have daily naked point of control and a weekly naked point of control in here as well, right? So you have the liquidity right here, and then between about 76, we'll call it 76.6 all the way down to about 74.8. We have the daily naked point of control 786, weekly naked point of control, right? So this is definitely the next big level I'm waiting for. And if we do come take these liquidations, understand, obviously, we are going to expect if we pop into these liquidations, we could see those fill very quickly, because as those longs down here wind up getting stopped out, it's going to create those market sells, and that's going to give us that big liquidation wick to the downside. So we could even slip this level and maybe come down to some of the other key levels down below. But we may if we do come down here, guys, a lot of liquidity down here, so we could see a little bit of a liquidation wick, very similar to what happened right down here. It gets very scary, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we're already bouncing. What the heck is going on, right? And that's oftentimes what happens when you dip into that liquidity. So understand that liquidity is sitting there into that 786 weekly and daily naked point of control. So I'll go ahead and take those levels off. That's the kind of longer term plan, and the 2-day money flow would be pointing towards that, and especially if this daily red dot prints, if that starts the bigger drop to the downside, that 2-day red dot might just be following right alongside with the money flow coming out. That's the bearish scenario. There's definitely signs on the chart, definitely bearish warning signs in my own personal opinion. And again, I hate bringing this stuff up for you guys, but it's just what we're seeing on the charts, right? So I would watch this daily red dot. Now, the thing here is if we did wind up getting that drop to the downside, and again, we're going lower time frame in just a second, but if we do get that bigger drop down into the 786, we also have the CME gap down there as well, making it just like even more of an area of interest. If we do pull down there, right, I would say, right, we'd have to assess the situation. It might get invalidated, but if this red dot prints and we do wind up getting the drop down before breaking into our bigger profile, this could potentially set us up for some kind of a daily bullish divergence, right? Where we have the higher lows on our momentum waves, lower lows on price. And if we see that forming into this key level of support, it may be an opportunity to look for a bigger bounce to the upside. Now, doesn't mean that we're necessarily just going to yeet off into all-time highs. Remember, guys, we need lower interest rates. We need a lot of things in order to get the alt season started, right? If we're going to see it. So, I'm not going to try to call exactly when alt season happens. We could take a look at Bitcoin dominance and total 3. Those are probably the two best things you could look at in order to try to anticipate alt season. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey guys, in 2 weeks, right? A lot of people in 2 weeks, alt season will start, right? Like, we just have to see when these things happen on the charts, and that's when alt season is going to start. It might take a month, it might take 2 months, we might not see an alt season, it might take 2 days, who knows, right? But I'm going to show you what you should be looking at on the charts. But at the end of the day, guys, if we come down here, I will be looking for one of the simplest higher time frame reversal signals, which will be a daily bullish divergence. So we're looking for a drop. If we get it, we're looking to come down in here, and we are going to be looking for longs here in the premium Discord for some local entries. But at the end of the day, if you're just trying to find out if you're going to bounce here, I wouldn't necessarily recommend like longing off of a daily bull div because you're going to get a bad entry. But, if we come down here and put a lower low on price and we put that higher low on the momentum waves, that is an opportunity to look for a bounce. And until proven otherwise, guys, if we do get the bounce here, although I may be looking for somewhat of a gig along, I would say, right, like if money flow is still coming out on the 2-day at that point, you still have to anticipate some kind of a lackluster retracement, lower high, and then another break of structure to the downside, which would bring us down to our last resort levels of support, which I will go over. Hopefully we don't have to see that happen, right? Hopefully we could just come down here, get some confirmations, for the bull market to continue. If we come down here, we need a strong bounce, and we need this money flow to seriously start picking up to the upside. We need the daily money flow to cross back over into the green, and then we're basically hoping for a 2-day money flow fake out. So, pretty much the same sentiment as yesterday, right? Like these levels are down here. There is liquidity. There is a CME gap. Those are oftentimes magnets for price. And money flow is also pointing with the red dot on the daily is potentially looking to point down there, right? And I'm going to, let's jump down lower time frame. And I want to give you guys the key levels, right? The doorway to the upside and the doorway to the downside, right? The doorway to higher prices remains exactly the same as yesterday, obviously, and that's going to be right here, sitting at about 91,350. Obviously, what is today? Today is the 7th, so yesterday we were chilling. Let me get the actual time. So yesterday during the live stream at the 6th, where we at? The 6th at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so we wound up getting that done. Let me come down to the 30-minute, right? We were looking for that 30-minute and 24-minute money flow crossover into the red, which was making us anticipate a potential push to the downside here, guys, and we did indeed, right? We see that money flow coming out. Not only did we have the money flow coming out, but we also had the 8-hour red dot printing, giving you a market cipher B 116 strategy, and then all of a sudden, we got that tweet or whatever that news was yesterday. I don't even really fully know what it was. Doesn't matter because we saw it on the charts before it happened, and we did that live, right? We were like, hey, guys, I'm looking for another drop to the downside potentially because of kind of many reasons, right? We have the 24-minute money flow coming out, the 30-minute money flow coming out with an 8-hour red dot. One of the simplest trading strategies you could possibly use. And then we were also kind of, coming up to our value area high, right? We had gotten accepted back into our range, and we were bearishly retesting a very, very important Fibonacci retracement level, right? So we came up, we swept into the lower high area, right? The 786 golden pocket is where you're going to be expecting that lower high to come in before a bigger drop to the downside, right? And that's exactly what we got. Again, there was news here, but it doesn't matter. We saw it on the charts beforehand. Whether we knew the news was there or not, or going to come in or not, we would have been looking for that short. And that was a short setup in the premium Discord. We have front run this value area low, guys, right? We have a value area low sitting here at about 83,508. So our local range is sitting between 83,500, I'll call it, 83,508. Value area high sitting at about 91.1, right? And then your POC is sitting here at about 89,430, right? So we had gotten accepted back into the range. Came to the POC, retested the value area high one time, and we have, we're kind of just bing-bonging around in this range, right? We've lost the POC once again, and we have this value area low untapped. This is the next key level to the downside. And not only is this the next key level to the downside, guys, we have the 786. We have a 786, a value area low. We also have a daily naked point of control sitting here at about 83,898, right? So if we do work our way down, right, when based off the laws of the volume profile, you deviate above, get stuck back in the range, play around with the POC, but eventually you are expecting to get down to that value area low, right? Overpowered trading tool here. It's not guaranteed, but very oftentimes this is what we see happen. So if we do get a drop down here, I will say daily naked point of control / value area low between 83,898 and 83,538. These are going to be the key levels we must remain above. If we come down here, we deviate below, could potentially look for some scalp positions. If we come down here over the weekend, I probably won't be at the charts. But if I were, I would be looking for long positions on the deviation. But I would have to be very careful, right? Because again, with the way money flow looks right now, we have to anticipate a potential continuation to the downside. So if we do wiggle our way down here and we wind up losing this range and we are unable to get back above the value area low, we have no bullish confirmations down here, I will be looking at this as our key level that if lost, will call probably for a move down to our $76,000 level. Now, we do have a naked point of control at about 79,195, but at this point, I don't know how much weight I would put on this level, right? Because at this point, you're getting very, 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 very close to where all that liquidity is sitting that we just showed, right? All this liquidity sitting below about 78, 72. So, maybe you get a little turbulence here, but, you're getting very, very close to that liquidity. And once you tap into this liquidity, that's probably where you're going to see the bigger drop to the downside. And again, the liquidity starts at 78, just under this wick at $78,108. You start breaking that level, guys, I would anticipate somewhat of a fast drop to the downside into our key levels of resistance. Again, daily naked, 786, weekly naked, right? And again, this is the key level of support where I will be looking for bounces. Hopefully we don't do this weekend. I hope this happens on like Monday or something if we do get the drop down. So I'm at the charts when it happens. But that's kind of what I'm looking at, right? This is your local range if you want to look for scalps, right? Once we lose this range low, I am, obviously 79,195. It is a key level of support, but I would be very, 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 very cautious because that could open up the doorway to get the bigger drop down to $76,000 towards that 786. CME gap, right? Weekly naked point of control, everything I just showed down here. Now, what happens if we lose that level, guys? But before we get into that, right, doorway to higher prices obviously just still remains, right? You have your value area high and your value area low of the larger range here, kind of in confluence, right? So let me actually go ahead and get rid of this fib because we moved down. But yeah, this is, $91,000, right? Like if we are going to get a fake out here and we're not going to get the bigger drop down first, you're going to want to come up here, right? And again, I would be very suspicious that this value area low is not tapped yet. But if you do wind up working your way back up here, flipping $91,000, in my opinion, is going to be our best bet of seeing a bigger push to the upside. If we're, again, money flow not looking that great, right? There's a lot of things pointing towards the downside, but if you want to kind of dodge that bullet, you got to break $91,000, flip it to support. That will get you accepted into your upper value area, which would potentially open up the door to come up to your POC at 96.7, starting at about 96.6, right? Now, the reason, another reason why I'm not really sure if that's going to happen, right? Because the reason for this is because I see a lot of people talking about this level now. And a lot of times when a lot of people are looking at a level, right? Like I feel like now, we have been looking at this level forever, but I feel like now a lot of people are starting to look at this point of control or just this level, whatever they're looking at, whether it's moving averages or whatever. It really comes in around like 96.5, right? And I just don't know, right? Like, are they going to like send you up there, right? And just like give you to the most obvious level of resistance? I don't know. It's I know there's, at least me personally, right? Like I would love to come up here for a bigger short position, but oftentimes, guys, the market is not that nice. Like let me send it right up to that level that they want, right? And the fact that we have already rejected our macro Fibonacci retracement. Whoops. Right? Let me just hide the day trades here real quick. Bada boom, bada bing, right? Pull from the high to the low, this high to this low, right? We've already rejected this. Last Sunday, we made a market update saying this is an area where you could put the lower high in at, right? And every time we try to come back up, right, we come back up, we reject the golden pocket 786. This is an area where we could have put the lower high in. We try to get back above the value area. We can't do it, right? We're just fighting to get above this value area. So we can't battle this, get above it, and shoot up towards that POC. That's your best bet for a move up. You've got to flip that $91,000. But right now, it's proving to be, again, Fibonacci retracement, potential lower high, and then you come back into break into the range, and you get hard rejection. Right, this is not good, right? Like you really want to get up here, flip it to support for the bigger move up. So I would say if I had to lean one way, again, based off money flow, based off the technicals, I would have to say that I am probably favoring a move to the downside. Now, I'm not betting on this, right? Like I don't have any shorts open. I don't have any longs open. I'm sitting out of the market right now. Very choppy price action here, if you guys have not noticed, right? A lot of manipulation. Oh my God, we're going to $1 million. Nah. Oh my God, we're going to, nah, right? Like we just keep getting faked out here. A lot of manipulation going on. So sometimes the best trade is no trade. And you can even see here, 2-hour money flow back in the red here, right? Your 3-hour money flow. The 4-hour money flow was actually looking pretty decent yesterday. But again, we had that 8-hour 30-minute market cipher B116 strategy, which helped us avoid this false signal. And here we are rolling back into the red on the 4-hour money flow. So, not the best bet or not the best situation for a big continuation to the upside. I mean, it still doesn't look that bad, right? Because you're still, could put in a higher low, right, and then come into the green. But with the 2-day, the daily red dot, like a lot of this stuff is pointing down. So I'm kind of neutral here, to be honest with you guys. I don't really care if we get the push up first or the push down first because I'm just waiting for this to happen in order to fire on another trade. If we're still ranging around here next week, we'll trade this range for scalps like we did this week. But other than that, I'm going into the weekend. I'm sitting on my hands. I don't want to stress over the charts. I highly recommend you guys do that too. And not like in this specific scenario, but like, if you're making money trading, especially if you have a profitable week, don't enter last-minute forced trades, right, and then go into the weekend and have to worry about those trades. Go into the weekend with some profit. Feel good about it. Enjoy the fact that you made some money that week, and then come back to the chart with fresh eyes that next week, and then there's always going to be another opportunity, right? So for me personally, I'm kind of neutral here. If I had to pick a direction, I would say probably more things pointing to the downside based off of all the bearish signals I just showed, but I am still open, like, right, we get some kind of crazy manipulation to the upside. It does seem like we are in an environment for that to happen, right? Like the past couple of weekends, we have seen some moves, right? Like last Sunday, right? We finally got that big drop down, yeah, so like here, Sunday, boom, right? Like the past few weeks, we have gotten some moves on the weekend, right? Like even Saturday, right? So Sunday, and then this Friday, right? Boom. And then like the weekends have been very volatile, right? So maybe we see something crazy happen, right? Maybe we just get some crazy weekend volatility. We go, oh my God, right? But I'm just simply waiting for my alarms to get triggered and react off those key levels. Other than that, I'd be looking at the local volume profile. Maybe, if I were interested in something, I'd wait to come down to this value area low. But again, this is our key target or key level that if broken would likely call for the 78.6 level to come in. That's my personal opinion, right? And that's just kind of how I'm think of something other than a chart. But yeah, we're binging and bonging, baby. Binging and bonging. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh no, OBS is crashing. I was like, yo, why is everybody putting Fs in the chat? Are we frozen? Doesn't show that I'm frozen. Let's see. Testing. Are we back? Nothing like a little dance. It shows that I'm live. Binging and bonging. Huh. They don't want you to tell us the truth, Frankie. Shout out to English. They're trying to block us. We back. Okay, cool. No, we're good. Okay, I was going to say, what the heck is going on? So it says I'm live. But yeah, hopefully you guys didn't see me dancing. Did you guys see that? Hopefully not. Anyway. It was stuttering. Okay. Just had to reload. We back. Okay, cool. Boom. All right. Let me just check my, it says I have excellent connection. Let me just double check YouTube. YouTube says, yeah, okay, so we should be good. Looks like BTC is about to dump again. Oh, God. Come on, baby. Come on, hit that value area low, baby. Let's see. Yesterday, we saw that market cipher be 116th. We got the move. Give us another move again today on today's live stream. Maybe I'll go a little long today if we get that move. Give us a value area low live. Make Frankie Candles a fortune teller and send us to that value area low. But overall, guys, that's what I'm looking at, right? Like I said, I want to keep it nice and simple. Higher time frames are definitely calling for a potential continuation down. We lose that 89, or we lose that daily naked point of control at 83,898. That's really what I'm looking at. We can't reclaim that value area low. Probably headed down towards that bigger level, right? Other than that, maybe we bing bong around this weekend. Maybe we get crazy manipulation to the upside. It's going to be really hard to predict. But I will say, if we do get some kind of manipulation to the upside, probably going to have some kind of bullish confirmation down here before sending it up. That's just my opinion. But that's pretty much what I'm looking at, right? And then the key level to the upside is going to be $91,000, right? Huge level to get above. Get above this. I think maybe you get a move up to the POC, in which case is another massive level of resistance, right? Get above the golden pocket POC, daily naked point of control, anchor VWAP. 786, another important level of resistance, because once we get above this, that's kind of where we can open up the idea of like, hey, maybe we're not going to put a massive lower high in, maybe we're going to send it. But I would say, in order to look for new all-time highs, guys, typically what you want to see is money flow in the red, right? Crossing into the green, right? Money flow in the red, crossing into the green, right? Do we see that? This is what you want to see. Money flow wave in the red, crossover into the green, big move up. Money flow cross in the red, crosses into the green, big move up. Are we in a situation like this? Right? Or a situation like this? Or are we in a situation like this, right? Which typically calls for more downside, right? And this is where I'm basing my thesis on, right? This money flow crosses over, we are probably going to continue down, right? Just historically. If we wanted a massive rip to all-time highs right now, we would literally, I do this all the time, we would literally want to see the inverse of this, right? We would literally want to see this big red wave crossing into the green. We are seeing the opposite. Right? So I am not bearish because I want Bitcoin to go down. I am not bearish because I just feel bearish. I'm just saying that market cipher B is looking bearish on the 2-day, right? So just, you heard it here first. We talked about it up here on the daily. We got the drop down. We're looking at it here on the 2-day. That red dot prints. I'd be careful of that bigger drop to the downside. So I would favor a little move down, a little bit more of a move down, but just keep in mind, my general sentiment here, I would say I'm leaning a little more bearish because of the signals on the chart, but just understand volatility might get crazy this weekend, and if it does come up, it might just be some crazy manipulation. So just keep that in mind, and let me just clean this up a little bit, take off the day trades here. I'll just get rid of this fib, and I do just want to talk about, like, before we go into, like, the altcoins and everything else, I will just cover this. If we break down here, guys, if I'm showing this, I'm sorry. I relabeled this folder. We just simply have a situation here where we have upper value, lower value, right? So if we are unable, like how do these volume profiles work? How does auction market theory work, right? We simply trade the rotations of value. And if I just clean this up so we don't have all these levels on the chart, right? One value area, second value area. If you can't get back up here to rotate the range and potentially break out, right, which again would be more accompanied by the opposite of what we're seeing on money flow. So I wouldn't say this is the highest probability situation. But what looks like it's happening here, guys, move down, bearish retest, can't get back up here. If we don't hold that 786, guys, we may be coming down to this next bonus level. I mean, I have to bring it up, right, because if we dump over the weekend, I want you guys to have the levels. Sitting between 72,315 and 69,864. Golden pocket, value area high confluence. That is the next big key level to the downside if we don't hold that 786. Hopefully we do. I would expect some kind of reaction, right? I would definitely expect some kind of reaction off of the 786 here, right? Unless it's like some kind of crazy wick and then maybe we close up here. In my opinion, I'll say this, right? I'm going to go out here on a limb. If we nuke down here on the weekend and we hit all this liquidity and we slam into this golden pocket or even POC and we get a massive daily wick that closes with a bullish hammer, I would consider that extremely bullish, right? I would consider that a potential bottom. I don't know how probable that is, right? And it is going to be a difficult decision to make if we do get down there, right? Because it's going to be a very scary drop. But that's what we're looking at. That's the next key level down below. 72, 160, all the way down to the value area high at $70,000. Simply put, these are just the levels. People always say Frankie has a crystal ball. Frankie, how does he always know what's going on? I saw some people in the chat like, Frankie, you were right yesterday. And listen, it is simply because I stick straight to the charts, right? I don't get any kind of bullish or bearish sentiment put into my head through emotion, right? If everybody's bullish on Twitter, I don't care. If everybody's bullish on Twitter and the charts are also bullish, I will be bullish, right? But because of the charts, not because of Twitter, not because of comments, not because of general sentiment, right? And that's why I think we have such a high hit rate on this channel just with the TA in general. It's just the fact that we stick only to the information, right? Like, I think I have a really good ability to just, like, I don't care, right? Like, obviously, I want Bitcoin to go up, right? I hold a lot of Bitcoin. I hold a lot of crypto, right? I want it to go up as bad as anyone else. But, like, when the chart tells me it's probably going to go down, that's what I'm going by, right? So, yeah, those are the key levels. Pretty much the same. I don't want to beat the dead horse here, guys. Like, all the levels are very similar. And, yeah, that's what we're looking at. And the higher time frames are definitely, unless we get manipulation of the upside, I'd say it's calling for more downside. Even, like, lower time frames as well. Like, even your 24-minute is, like, back in the red here, so that would likely give a continuation down. Like, what's our 8-hour doing right now? Yeah, 8-hour red dot still confirmed. We'll see if this daily red dot prints. If this daily red dot prints, I would put even more weight on the move down before the move up. If this gets support on the 0 line, we don't get the red dot here, then maybe we come up first. But I would say, if I had to put a percentage on it, right, like, or if I had to lean one way, definitely leaning more bearish. Doesn't mean you can't get, like, low time frame noise. Maybe you just kind of range around here, right? It doesn't mean because 2-day money flow is coming out that we have to go down in a straight line, right? A lot of people think that, right? High time frame money flow especially takes a long time to play out, right? So, if money flow is coming out, right, like even here, right, money flow crossed into the red right here, and we went sideways forever. When we start pumping here, people are like, what the heck? I thought money flow was coming out. And it's like, you have to understand the full context of everything, right? That money flow was 100% foreshadowing this bigger move, which is why we looked at that golden pocket, even though I hated talking about it, bringing up that golden pocket up here. Like, guys, watch it. Liquidity down below, golden pocket here. We'll be looking for longs in the premium. We did, and we wound up seeing that happen. The money flow very, very rarely lies. Very rarely. Very rarely. And even yesterday on the 24-minute, that money flow on the 24-minute was not lying. Was able to front run that news and say, hey, we're probably going to get that dump before that news even came out, right? So that's what we do here. We stick on the charts, and we stick to just straight information, guys. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. I'm going to keep it nice and simple here. If anything, watch the 4-hour money flow. If we could, somehow get this money flow to come back into the green in a massive way, we don't get the daily red dot. Maybe you get the move up first, but I'd be careful because, even if we do get the move up first, maybe we manipulate up here, although I do think this is a little bit too obvious. But, if they do manipulate it and we do get a push into this POC anchor VWAP golden pocket, that 2-day money flow is probably not invalidated yet, and we still could get the dump from there, right? A lot of resistance above, like very important levels, but 91K is the level to get above in order to potentially see, a little bit of a push to the upside from the value area low to the POC. Nice little 5-6% pump up, right? But everyone's going to be super bullish on that. They're going to be like, that's it, pull market on, right? But if we're coming up there and we're putting in bearish signals here, money flow coming out on the 2-day, I am not calling for the bear market on, right? I'm looking for another dump back down. But yeah, highest probability scenario, in my opinion, would probably be bing bong around here in the local range and eventually lose this if you lose that daily naked point of control, look for the drop down here. Hopefully it's not the case, right? I don't really have a bias. I'm not in any trades. I don't care which way it goes. But hopefully, just for the sake of the bulls, let's go up. Let's go up. Let's see. Need that sold tonight. Unfortunately, I don't own any yet. Got in too late. Shout out to Michael S. Well, hey, I do believe we have a bunch of Solana to give away. So yeah. Eric Trump said buy the dip and hold. Shout out to Marcel. I mean, yeah, I don't know. He also said buy the dip before it. He said good time to buy Ethereum before it dumped. Again, is he trying to tell people to snipe the bottom? Probably not. But yeah, we'll take a look at Ethereum in a minute as well. What do you think about the liquidation levels by Leviathan indicator? Something new I found which shows liquidity on the 30 seconds nicely in terms of leverage. Shout out to Pratham. I'll have to check that out. I've never seen that. Does it plot liquidation levels on the chart? Actually, I think I have looked at that. Maybe we'll take a look at that. Let's see. Eric Trump. Seems legit. Shout out to Satoshi Stacker. K Diggity said, come on, Nightbot, come on. Buy our bags and hold for 5 years. Yeah, shout out to Alt-Right. Like, listen, at the end of the day, guys, like I say this all the time, right? Like, I was buying my Bitcoin down here. I'm not tripping over this, right? Like, this is not bothering me. So, I have a little bit more wiggle room to, like, endure a little bit more pain than a lot of other people. I know a lot of the Mafia's in down here where we were looking to buy during the bear market, but, a lot of people are not in that situation. And I say this every day. I don't really want to beat it over your head, but, a lot of the people feeling most of the pain right now are people who are heavily exposed to altcoins and people who are buying the top of Bitcoin, right? But with that being said, there are bear signs on the chart here. So, it could be more pain to come. Heard it here first. Let's see. Daily red dot. How much? We got 35 minutes left for that daily red dot to potentially, print that next daily candle. Let's see. Heat map code is in Discord resources. It's AI improved by Grok 3. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. Let's go. Hey, Stupid Bitcoin, you got to change your name to Smart Bitcoin. Shout out to you, bro. Let's see. Shout out to TRD Farmer said, don't forget to share the insider news that Golden was mischievously referring to in your DMs last night. Shout out to TRD Farmer. I actually still have to answer Golden. I have a lot going on behind the scenes right now. I just have like a lot of other stuff that I have to do that like separate from the channel. So I've just been really busy. I have to catch up on my DMs. But yeah, if Golden ever gave me some like super, super crazy information, I would obviously share it with you guys. Someone in the chat last night was like, why would you not tell us it was going to dump? I was like, he didn't just say it was going to dump, right? But yeah, he was just, I also don't know what he wants me to share. Like, but yeah. If he ever gives any crazy stuff, then obviously I gotta share it with the Mafia. You need uncooked cheeseburgers before you can have delicious cooked cheeseburgers. Shout out to Twinkle Toes. Hey, let's go. Does AVAX have a daily bull div or am I delusional? Yo, shout out to who said that. Shout out to Gary. I love that. Or am I delusional? I'll take a look at it. But hopefully this makes sense for you guys on Bitcoin, right? Like, again, not much has changed, right? We'll see. Like, we're also below this anchored VWAP. I would, me personally, I'd rather wait for that value area low. We'll even set an alert here in case we do wind up hitting it. Let's just go ahead and drop a thing here. Mrs. Candles, who are you talking to? Oh. Mrs. Candles is bringing up people up in the studio. Yeah, shout out to Hack said two monthly red dot signals the bull market top. Yeah, I mean, forget about the red dots, right? Like, this is a bearish divergence, right? Not only do you have the red dots, right? You have the higher highs, the technical lower highs. Like, this is a bear div, right? And this has printed at the top of bull markets before. Is the exact signal, right? We've been talking about this for literally ever. We even talked about this before we came up, right? Like, what could potentially be the top of the next bull market, right? And where I say, like, hey, I'll just wait for very similar signals that we had here. Now, I will say, right, like, it's not exactly the same, right? This is a much more intense bearish divergence, right? At least on the momentum waves. But this has been the mark of the top before. But again, this was a little bit of a different situation, right? We were a little bit further along here, right, into the cycle. We also had a lot of other, like we had peak retail sentiment come in. And like there were a lot of other really bearish signs that were popping up on these two tops other than the monthly bear div, but 100% this did mark the top. There are things that mark the top of the previous bull market popping up right now on the chart. I just wouldn't necessarily say they're exactly the same, right? But it doesn't mean that they can't play out the same. So, it's definitely there. It's definitely there. Cannot lie about that. And that's something we've been looking at for quite some time. But we'll see. We'll see, right? Is there really going to be no alt season? Maybe, right? There's no sense in just praying for an alt season because it's happened in the past, right? We had the whole pump fund thing happen. Maybe that ruined the alt season. Totally could be the case. But there's also a lot of things that have not happened here. We never got like anywhere near the retail sentiment that we had in 2021, right? Like nowhere near. Search term analytics, none of that stuff is even coming close to where it was last cycle. So in my opinion, like retail has come back in some form or fashion, but not full retail in my opinion. So, maybe... Yeah, I don't know, right? Like, is that possible to just end the bull market and that never happened? Sure, right? Anything is possible. This is why investing and trading is very difficult, right? There's no way to say 100%, right? You have to kind of stack the bullish and bearish puzzle pieces. And right now, at least, right, if this is not the top of the bull market, I do still think that unless we just yeet on out of here, fake out all the indicators, fake out all the TA, and just send it, right, there is very high probability of at least more pain, even if it's not a traditional 4-year cycle bear market, right? I talked about this a lot last stream, so I won't cover it too much. I'll just kind of end it there, right? Could still endure a little bit more pain, right, and still go up to new all-time highs without it being a traditional 4-year bear market, right? Tons of people were probably calling this the bear market, right? And they were literally calling the bear market right at a local bottom before coming up and making a new all-time high. Now, again, in hindsight, I do think people who were calling it top of the bull market here, good call. Right, like that's as good of a call as you could possibly have. You had some technical signals. You had weekly bearish divergences. You had a lot of technical signals. You also had like peak retail sentiment. And then, this was like we saw a lot of blow off tops on a lot of stuff here, right? Weekly bear divs. But money flow wasn't really coming out that aggressively, right? It wasn't until just a quick, easy thing. If you're looking at Market Cypher B, guys, I will just say a very easy, simple way to look at the bearish, the bear market and the bull markets is going to be the weekly money flow. I show this all the time, but it's super simple. Shout out to Market Cypher. Every time the weekly money flow crosses into the red, it is usually the start or it's signaling that you are going to be in a bear market, or you are in a bear market and it's likely to continue down, right? You can see here, it's also the best time to DCA into the market. You can see the first weekly money flow crossover was like right here, right? Bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong. You lose it, you come down. Best time to buy Bitcoin. Bottom of the bear market. Boom, right? Right here, and the money flow crosses into the green, start of the bull market. Might be a good place to stop DCAing, right? Weekly money flow crossover into the red, literally before the big drop, right? Money flow is in the red on the weekly, best time to buy Bitcoin. And we did this exact same thing, right? Money flow crosses into the green. Obviously, you had the Black Swan event here, so if you negate that Black Swan, this probably would have been the money flow crossover to start the big run. But then here again, right? Money flow was thick up here. Money flow was thick AF up here. We even came down. It was still pretty thick, right? And then we came back up. Right? All of a sudden, we came up here. This is where I personally was saying we were probably going to drop into the bear market. Right? Right at this top. We had a weekly blood diamond, which we've never seen on the chart before. And more importantly, you had your weekly money flow crossing into the red, right? About to cross into the red. And you could front run that too by saying like, hey, even on this drop down, money flow is tanking. This is a big, big warning sign. Right? And then that money flow crosses into the red. You come up for a retracement. Everybody's thinking that 30K was the bottom. We're about to put in a higher low and go to 100K. We say, I hope you guys don't hate me, but this is probably going to be the bear market. And we drop down. And everybody hated me for saying that. I got roasted. This was one of the first big calls that I ever made. And I got cooked. But I'm glad I made it, right? Because here we are, just still giving raw information, regardless of anybody's emotions, right? Because that's the way you're really going to make money, right? I'm glad I was not telling people, oh my God, 100K, right? We're pumping a little bit, guys. This means we're going to 100K. That's not how things work. We saw the bearish signs, weekly money flow, coming to the red, right? You get your first big drop down, best time to buy Bitcoin, while weekly money flow is in the red. Right here, you started to cross back over into the green. And that was essentially bottom in, send it back to higher prices, right? So that's another big thing we can look for. And I will say, weekly money flow is coming out pretty aggressively, right? So if we're going to see that same thing happen, this is not good. This is not good, guys. And again, like just because we came down to 80K is not enough for me to say we're in a bear market. But like on these retracements, this money flow keeps coming out and this crosses into the red, guys. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3 for 3 so far, right, for literally calling the bear markets. So this is another really simple thing to look for. But you could also catch support, right? Like you could see here in 2021, we came up, money flow on the weekly came out, right? But we weren't even at all-time highs yet, so this was kind of an easy call to make that was probably going to fake out. Here, it's a little harder. We've made an all-time high. If this starts creeping towards that zero line, on the next weekly green dot, guys, if this money flow does not yank to the upside like crazy, and we see that VWAP come up, price retraces, puts in a lower high, and starts coming back down, and this money flow's coming out, that is really not a good sign. That, in my opinion, right? And you start losing 76K, like that could be bear market territory. Yeah, I don't know. That would be really bad. That would be horrible. But at the end of the day, guys, we could see something different play out as well, right? We might get lower interest rates, and then eventually when that comes in, then the money flow faked out this cycle into the red. So it's another thing you can't just put 100% certainty in, right? It's 3 out of 3 sniping the start of the bear markets and the bull markets, but that doesn't mean that it's going to go 4 for 4, right? So you just have to keep that in mind. I wish it was that easy, right? It was this easy here, right? We used that to our advantage, right? And it did work out great, but it doesn't guarantee it, right? Nothing is guaranteed in trading. Nothing is guaranteed on the charts. My target is 74K before the bounce. Yeah, I mean, that brings you right into our key support level for sure. Shout out to Nick Dunn, said, okay, let's go. Shout out to Nick Dunn. I don't know if that's exactly what you were saying, but I'm referencing a hilarious TikTok. All right, let's see. Yeah, double momentum waves marks the top every single time on the monthly. Yeah, I mean, definitely called it here. Definitely called it here. Yeah, I mean, called it last cycle. Didn't really call it on any of the other cycles, though. You had one peaked out momentum wave here, but understand this, too. Like, this also, right, like these are all oversold momentum waves, right? Like these never even reach into the oversold territory, which is interesting to me. Yeah, but, I would be more worried about this bearish divergence, right? Monthly bear div, top of the market. This is definitely a monthly bear div, right? It's somewhat exaggerated with the equal highs, but it is there, right? And that was one of the big things that called the top. But again, right, I have to say this, right? Like there's a lot of things that popped up here that were screaming the top was in that are not here yet. But I'm not going to sit around and wait for those, right? So yeah. But yeah, 2 cycles in a row, monthly bear div. But it doesn't guarantee it, right? It could mean, and I would say this, right? Monthly bear div, 2-day money flow coming out. Like there are a lot of things pointing towards more downside. But it's just really hard to call it for a full bear market, as I've been saying for quite some time. Hey, shout out to Priest XBT said, are you going to do another collab with Tino soon? Yeah, potentially. Shout out to Tino from Traders Reality. Yeah, I would love that. Shout out to Tino. We actually got to go say what's up to Tino on his live stream soon. We haven't said what's up to him in a little bit. Let's see. I'm holding 5 ETH. Shall I sell out? Shout out to Addy K. I can't tell you that. I unfortunately can't tell you when to buy or sell. I'm not a financial advisor, and I also don't know, where you bought. I don't know what your plan is. I don't know if you have a long-term outlook, a short-term outlook. I don't know if you think ETH is going to 0. So this is a little bit of a loaded question. I can't just tell you when to buy and sell. Nobody can, right? At the end of the day, the best analyst, the best trader, the richest person in the world that made all their money in crypto could tell you to hold your ETH and it can go to 0, right? So it's really hard for me to give you that answer. I can tell you what I'm doing. I haven't sold any of my ETH, right? I mean, at this point, it's really not worth it, right? We'll just jump into ETH here as well. Not really, like at this point, right? Like, it's really, in my opinion, we're at $2,000. At this point, if I had to round trip ETH, like, it's not really going to make a difference to me. So, not that it would be a full round trip, but yeah, like, I'm not going to sell after this massive dump, right? At the end of the day, right, like, you don't want to sell on dumps, right? This is like, you could try, right, if you really think you're going to catch that dump, right? Like, I mean, we could just go back to previous bear markets, right? Like, right here, people probably thought it was going to be the bear market. They sold their ETH, and then it bounced, and they're like, oh, my God, wait, maybe I shouldn't have sold it. And then they bought it again, and then they dumped again, and then they sold it again. They're like, oh, my God, this is definitely the bear market. And then they get a big bounce, right? And they're like, oh, it's probably just going to go back down. And then it bounces again. And like, oh, wait, hang on, maybe I should buy back. And then they're wrecked, right? So, in my opinion, I can't with a good conscience, right, like, or good conscience say, sell on this big red candle, right, or like after this massive drop to the downside. Could you sell here and it continues to drop? Sure, right? But for me personally, like, I can't sell this. I would have to sell some kind of a retracement to the upside. But again, I have a long-term outlook. My spot bags, guys, are long-term, right? Especially like the bigger coins, right? Like my Solana, my Bitcoin, my Ethereum. My average buy-in for Solana for most of my bags, or like for my personal bag, is I think $20, something like that. It's like ridiculous. So, I have long-term on a lot of this stuff. If we just get like a, lackluster bull market, right, and we just wind up putting in a, from all-time high to all-time high, we just get a 50% pump above the previous all-time high. We just get a super lackluster bull market. I don't think, it's not possible. That's, yeah, I mean, it would just be like, wow, that's crazy. We only went up 50% in the last bull market. That's crazy, right? Above the all-time high, that is, right? But when you look at this from the bottom, right, like this is a massive rip up, right? 665%. So, yeah, hard to say. I appreciate the super chat. I just can't tell you when to buy and sell. It's really hard. Me personally, like I would never sell here. I would have to just hold on. Like I don't think ETH is going to go to zero. If it goes to zero, then that's a risk I'm willing to take at the end of the day, right? Risking is investy, as we say here, or I'm sorry, investing is risky. Shout out to the Mafia. But yeah, like I couldn't sell. Like, imagine selling the bottom here, right? And then you get a big snap up. You at least have a better opportunity to save, 37% on your bag, right? Imagine selling here, right? You would have sold the bottom for a massive pump, and you would have saved 24% by just waiting for the retracement. So I'm not saying you're guaranteed to get a massive bounce, but, I just can't. I could never sell those red candles. It's just never. I can't say. So, yeah, you got to make your own decisions, but I would just never do that. Peak. Yeah, we could take a peek at peak. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm holding, right? Like I'm, but again, that doesn't mean that everybody should hold, right? Like I'm holding my Bitcoin, right? But if you were buying Bitcoin at the top here, right? Like you're probably not in as good of a scenario, right? Like I'm holding Bitcoin, I barely even feel this, right? But, if you buy up here, you're definitely feeling that, right? Like if you put, for example, 30% down is like not fun, right? But it's also like not uncommon in crypto, right? You have to have patience, right? You also have to have a stomach to handle the volatility. If you get into crypto, and you're not willing to accept being down on your bags 30%, and if you hold altcoins 50% without like really freaking out, it might not be the game for you, right? Everyone just wants to come in and get rich overnight and just like expect everything to go up in a straight line. It's very rarely how it works, right? When you pump, right? But eventually you're going to come back down. That's why I always tell people, right? We set it up here. We set it on all of the altcoins, right? Especially when things were pumping. Frankie, should I buy XRP? Frankie, should I buy XRP? I'm like, you could buy it, right? You could totally buy it up here, but just understand, nothing goes up in a straight line forever. And then people buy up here, it dumps down here, right? They buy in, they think they're going to make $1 million overnight, and they're down 35%. And they're like, what the heck? This thing's doing nothing but going down. And it's like, you got to have patience, right? You have to have patience if you want to make money in this game. I'm not saying hold all your bags to zero, but you just definitely have to have patience. Let things cool off. Imagine you picked up here, right? You would have at least had a little bit of profit. Now you still would be in profit if you waited for the retracement, right? A lot of people bought up here, right? You want to wait for the retracement, right? It's very a bad idea to buy up like in the massive green candles, especially after a big move up. Yeah, like pullbacks are normal, right? Like even XRP here, right? Like XRP holding up great here, right? Like I know a lot of people, right? And I know a lot of altcoins are getting crushed, right? Like you just have to look no further than TIA or DOT. Right, which are like literally at their bear market lows. This is a different situation, but for like things like XRP, right, like this is holding up great, right? And all people see is, oh my God, it dumped 48%. Like what is going on? You just ripped 570%. A 50% dump after a 564% rip is different than just a 54% dip, right? Like a 50% dip after this is totally okay. Right? It's anticipated. It's expected. But when you buy the top, all you see is, oh my God, literally half my money is gone. Right? But that's why it's important to understand what you're doing. Right? There's no test. There's no verification. There's no to invest in crypto. There's like no barriers. Right? You could just like get in here and buy. And a lot of people just see it up only. Right? It's just not how it works. Shout out to JB. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Short all crypto. It's going down, baby. Shout out to F-Bomb. Let's go. Or Fed-Bomb. Let's see. Hey, Frankie, I sent you a FIB question super chat. Hey, shout out to JB. Let me go ahead and check it, and then we'll jump on into some of the altcoins, and then we're going to give away some Solana, guys. Yo, hey, shout out to Creighton C. Says, smash that like button if you're ready for the TA Master, the crypto bro, and his inflatable... the GOAT, the smoke, the Fibonacci fire of NY, Frankie Candles. I probably just blew everybody's ears out. But shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. Yo, Creighton's been showing a lot of love lately. I appreciate you, bro. Could the monthly RSI on Bitcoin be forecasting something? Yeah, I mean, for sure, right? I'll just take a quick look at that before we jump into Ethereum. Let's pull up the RSI. It really tells a similar story to Market Cipher B, to be quite honest, right? But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I typically use the RSI as a momentum indicator to look for divergences, right? That's really what I use the RSI for. A lot of people, when they first get into crypto, they think like, oh, I'll just wait for things to be oversold. I'll buy, and then it'll go up. That doesn't work, right? Because you could remain oversold for quite some time. Let me just get rid of this. Can I turn this moving average off? There we go. Okay, so the in hindsight, it looks great, right? Because you're like, oh my God, look at this. RSI is oversold. I'm buying, right? And then what happens? The dip dips, right? And this is why we look at things like liquidity and stuff, because that's the only way you're going to see this stuff incoming, right? Otherwise, you're just kind of like, oh, and at the end of the day, if you DCA'd in, right, like you have a better chance of DCAing in when things are oversold, right, than, buying in at the top, right? If you're buying in at the top, chances are you're probably going to get a move to the downside. But, yeah, I mean, the monthly RSI. Let me see the monthly RSI. Yeah, I mean, a very similar situation here, right? Like you do have the bearish divergence on the monthly RSI as well, right? Higher highs on your price action and lower highs on your momentum waves, right? RSI. So yeah, I mean, you do have the monthly bearish divergence as well. Again, every other cycle has seen massive explosions above this level, above the 70 level on the RSI on the monthly, right? Is it possible that this is all we get this cycle? Again, I'm not going to tell you it's impossible, but I don't know, right? You think about this and you're just like, I don't know, like we have a pro-crypto president, right? We have potential lower interest rates incoming, right? Looser monetary policy, and like that's all we're going to get for a full 4-year bear cycle. I don't know, right? It seems unlikely to me, which is why I don't fully fall in the camp of like just calling the bear market right now. I will 100%, say that it is possible, right? I'm not going to sit up here and say you're an idiot if you think the top is in, because I know how markets move and I know anything can happen, right? I've been watching this stuff long enough. But I personally think it'd be very unlikely to see something like that. But again, like there is, a very sticky situation right now. We are seeing a lot of the bearish divergence. Like we're seeing a lot of things that came in at the top, but there's also a lot of things that haven't happened. So I'm not ready to throw in the towel just yet. But again, I have way lower entry prices on a lot of stuff. Obviously, a lot of my alts are crushed. But like as far as Bitcoin, I have a lot of room to kind of just like let things settle down and see how the charts develop here. But I know not everyone's in that situation. But that's a tough situation that you are in, right? If you're in this situation, but like people in that situation are in that situation because of where they bought, right? They just bought at the worst time. The reason that I'm not freaking out is because I bought the fear, right? That's the benefit of actually buying when things go down rather than trying to buy into pumps, right? You get this nice like chill feeling of being like, all right, we got the big dump, right? But I'm not really tripping. I bought all the way down here, right? When you buy into pumps, you put yourself in a super sketchy situation, not only to, have to endure pullbacks, but what are you doing when you get those pullbacks, right? Like, are you freaking out and selling the bottom here? And then going, oh my God, we're bouncing. Let me buy back in. I just panicked. I was emotional. And then you see another dump and you sell again, and then you buy again and you sell again and you chew up all your profits. It's a very difficult situation, but that is more because of where people buy, right? Rather than, oh my God, it's definitely the bear market. But it's definitely in the cards, guys, right? Like I'll be the first person to tell you that. Like just because I don't personally fall in the camp that it's 100% guaranteed over right now does not mean that the top is not in. So yeah. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, yeah. And shout out to JB. Thank you for the super chat. Said, do you adjust your fib if candles fall below the last fib, or do you just hold it? Yeah, no. Shout out to JB. Yeah. So like for example, yeah, like, so for example, right? So you pull from this low to this high. I think I understand your question, right? So from this low to this high, you look for the 786 retest. You get a bounce, right? Now, if we come back down, I don't hold these as I don't put much weight on these fib levels anymore. They've already been retraced into and gotten the bounce. So at that point, I would take this off the chart and I would pull the next fib, right, which would be the current low to the current high, right? So now you're watching this golden pocket 786. So I think that probably answers your question directly. So yeah, let me know if that doesn't clear it up, and I'll try to give you a little bit better of an explanation. Let's see. Shout out to Dirty P. Da. Shout out to you, bro. Said, this is over. Crypto Summit was an S show. Maybe. We'll see. And again, I think the most difficult situation, guys, is if very likely, guys, very likely, something unexpected is going to happen, right? Again, it's so hard to call a full bear market here, right? Because even if we pull down into this range, right, and we bing bong around here a little bit, we could still go back to all-time highs. And you might say, well, Frankie, that's crazy. That's 50K. It's only 51% from the all-time high. We had something like that happen here. I've been bringing this up a lot lately, right? I'm not saying, right, again, I do think that this was the top of the bull market and this was a dead cat bounce, liquidity grab, right? But imagine calling for a bear market here before a massive 136% pump to the upside, right? I'm just not willing to do that. So, we could see something super sketchy happen, right, where we do something like that, and then we go off to the races, hopefully making a much bigger all-time high than this one. Hopefully it's not just a liquidity grab. You bet your bottom dollar if we see something like that happen, we're going to be looking for that. But we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, definitely could be the top. Definitely signs here. But I don't know. We'll see how things pan out. Because, if we do wind up coming down here and all of a sudden we get looser monetary policy, that this thing could just go, right? Fortunately, the same pattern has repeated 3 times now, and it's saying the same thing. Top is in. Shout out to Crypto Maxi. What signal are you looking at? The bear div on the monthly? It's happened twice. I'm calling for a kangaroo market. Shout out to Nirvana. Yeah, probably. It's probably going to, chances are no one's going to get this exactly right? No one's, maybe we come down, we test these highs, right? Maybe we take off. Maybe we don't. Maybe we go down to 10K, right? Like something crazy could happen, right? So it's very hard to... good news is there's always 2027, 2028. Yeah, I mean, hey, definitely true. I always say this. There is never a better time to learn how to trade, right? Because if we go down, we can make money on that, right? In a big way. The bull market never ends when everyone expects it to end. Exactly, right? Everybody's saying this is the bear market. Boom! 139% pump to the upside. Right? Chances are when everybody is super bearish calling for the bear market, it is probably not here. You know what everyone was saying up here? Right? Was everybody saying after we got this dump bear market? No. Everyone was saying 100K, 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 100K. Every influencer and their grandma, every person in the crypto space, 100K. What happens? Massive 50% correction. What is everyone saying down here? Bear market, bear market, bear market. Boom. What happens up here? 100K, 100K, 100K. The problem here is when we got the dip down, people were still calling for 100K here because we were making a higher low. And then we saw that all the bearish signs all coming together, the weekly money flow crossover, and then boom, we go into the bear market, right? People don't call bear market at the start of the bear market. People call all-time highs at the start of the bear market, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm open to both things happening. If we're in a full bear market, that's totally cool. We're going to make a killing on the way down. Let's see. Something big is going to happen the next week or so. I feel it in my bones. Ain't no way Michael Saylor was part of the summit, bought BTC at the highs for it just to go down a month or so later. Yeah, shout out to Dr. MTG. Yeah, I mean, anything is possible, guys. Sailor could go broke maybe, and it's like, wow, no one ever thought he would get liquidated, whatever it is. But, yeah, I don't know, right? We just trade the charts. Halfway to 100K, LFG. Let's go. Shout out to Nick Dunn. How do you find the MPOC? Shout out to Gennaro. We have some tutorials in the beginner series, I believe, to show you how to find those naked points of controls. Go check out the beginner series. Should give you bring you pretty much up to speed with everything we talk about here. But, yeah. Let's see. Hang on. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's take a look at Ethereum as well. But thank you for the super chats. Creighton, he said 2021 monthly bear div had money flow trending out. Not the case currently. And sometimes bear divs have a third drive. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean, right? Like, you have to understand, anyone who's just saying guaranteed bear market here, if they're saying it's 100% the bear market, they have a chance of being right, but they're 100% gambling to a degree. Trust me. I've been doing this for years, right? When everybody's calling for something, it very, very, the masses do get it right once in a while. I will say that too. But very rarely, right? Everyone oh my God, we're going to 150, dump. Oh my God, we're going to 150, dump. Oh my God, bear market, pump, right? So it's just understand that, right? And I don't want to come up here and say that like I'm just a perma bull, never bear market. Could be here, right? There are signs, but it's just coming from someone who has been staring at these charts for years and years and years and years, literally to a fault. I literally spend all my time looking at the charts. There's not enough here to guarantee anything. There never will be. Again, just look back to 2021. Everybody thought this was the bear market. I guess it's over. And then boom, we come up, right? They could have been right here too. The faster you understand that, the more money you're going to make, right? They could have been right. It could have been the bear market, right? Something different could have happened. But typically the masses are wrong. But yeah. Let's see. Shout out to Al Jr. Said, yo, Frank, I watched both MPOC videos twice. Let's go. Shout out to Al Jr. Said, so I stayed with the session volume profile instead of the PvP. Has worked more for me. It's your first video on it, I think. Yeah, you could pretty much use either one. As long as the settings are correct. Shout out to Wick589. Let's go. Why is everyone looking at the DXY again lately? Shout out to Wick589. That's funny because we actually looked at the DXY recently as well. The reason is because the reason I was looking at it is because it's been absolutely dumping, right? Which typically is a good sign for risk on assets, right? It's daily money flow coming out here. That would be nice, right? Now again, it's not going to be a straight line, right? Maybe we get a rebound here as the daily green dot looks to print. Right? Maybe you get a rebound. Maybe Bitcoin rips down to $76,000, $72,000, right? But if this money flow crosses into the red, we'd expect the same thing as on Bitcoin, right? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And if we start dumping down here, guys, in a big way, could be a good news for crypto, right? That is, unless we're in a bear market here, and this money flow is going to fake out to the upside and just send it up again, and we're just going to continue to bleed out on Bitcoin. We'll have to see, right? We'll have to see. But yeah, chances are everyone's saying it's a bear market now. If it bounces back up to all-time highs, they're going to pretend they never said that, right? And I'll never have to do that because I only tell the truth. I don't know if it's the bear market, right? There are some things the truth is there are some signals that have popped up before in bear markets at the top of bull markets that are showing now, but there's also a lot of things that haven't shown. You just have to take this information and make the highest probability trade or the highest probability decision, right? But most people just want to tell me when to buy, tell me when to sell. No one can tell you how to do that. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Educating stream. Hey, shout out to Crypto Craze. Let's go. Welcome in. We do it every weekday here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Basically 2 hours of TA daily. We try to keep it to an hour and a half, but it always goes 2 hours. Sometimes 3, like last night. So yeah, turn on notifications, guys. Don't miss this. But yeah, DXY dumping. We took a look at this yesterday. Looking pretty good, right? Again, I would expect turbulence here. Could cause more downside for Bitcoin. But overall, right, that daily money flow crosses into the red. Your 3-day money flow crossing into the red. How's that weekly money flow? You have your VWAP coming up. I would really like the weekly money flow to come out. That would be even better, right? Because you can see like the weekly money flow crossovers are really what give you the huge dumps down, right? And this was in 2021. This one was in 2017, right? Right? So weekly money flow crossover would be much better than the daily, but the daily could be a good start. Could be a good start. Even the 2-day, right? 2-day could be a good start as well. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if, all right, so let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Not on this chart. Let's pull up this chart. So yeah, on Ethereum here, let's take a look. Things pretty much remain the same, right? We looked for, take a look at the 2-hour here, right? Let me get rid of some of these local levels. I'll bring those back up in a second. So we have the anchored VWAP pulled from the actual low here, right? This low wick right here. We came up through, right? Got to move above, tried to bounce on it, and now we got rejected from below, right? So this is now turned into resistance. However, we did get the sweep of liquidity below that $2,000 level into our monthly naked point of control, which is what we were waiting for quite some time for a bounce back to the upside. Once you get back into that value area low, you're going to be looking for that POC. We tapped that POC literally to the dollar right there for another rejection back to the downside. And at this point, right, like our goal here would be to hold on top of this value area low. If we cannot hold this value area low and we do not reclaim it, even if we slip below it and cannot reclaim it, I'm gonna leave this on the chart for now, but this is a tap monthly naked point of control. There is not that much below us. So if you don't hold above the value area low and we start losing this, I'll bring up some of these lower levels here. And again, right, like 2-hour money flow. 2-hour money flow crossing over into the red. Take a look at the daily, right? Daily money flow tanking. 2-day money flow also in the red. At the end of the day, even if we did get if we did or do get a huge bounce from this value area low, based off our 2-day money flow, unless this comes back into the green, we have to look at that as lackluster pumps for retracements back to the downside, right? So yeah, But this is like, we are back down at super, super key levels of support. If we lose this, guys, I would simply just be looking towards this lower value. Value area high sitting at about 1944, POC sitting at 1851, and then the value area low sitting at 1643. So we break down out of here. I would look to come to that value area high. If you guys remember from last night's live stream on Cardano, right, we were looking at like, hey guys, this was before the news even came out. But we saying, hey, if we dump here, right, next key level is going to be this value area high, and then we actually wound up hitting it on the stream. I just didn't know, but we did wind up coming to hit that level. Very similar to Ethereum, right? We lose those key levels. I'm simply going to be looking to get gravitated towards that lower area of value. 1940 value area high, POC 1852. And then your value area low at 1644. Very, very, very simply put. That's what I'd be looking for. Shout out to Gennaro. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you so much. He says, shout out to you. I know how to use Market Cipher B and was able to snag the Market Cipher B discount. If there's time, could you do some Arrow TA? I know it's not guaranteed. Shout out to Gennaro. Absolutely. We could try to take a look at Arrow. No problem. We took a look. I mean, this is pretty much what we're looking at on Ethereum. Very similar to Bitcoin, right? Like the 2-day money flow is really that bearish look. We do have the 2-day bull div, which is a little conflicting. But again, even with a 2-day bullish divergence, even if this does wind up playing out and giving us a bigger bounce to the upside, unless this money flow comes back into the green, we have to anticipate lower highs and lower lows. Key levels of resistance above in case you get the bounce first. Golden Pocket POC 2318 up to about 2360. 786 is the next area to potentially be putting in that lower high, right? This whole zone is going to be that first area. 786 sitting at 2434. Once you flip that, I'd look to come up to your value area, local value area here, starting at about $2,600. Break back in there. You could look to interact with that range. But I'd be careful. Like 2-day bull divs, kind of nice to see, right? But not the best thing for a continuation, right? Maybe a little pump, right? But I would not be looking at that as a long-term continuation unless we see that money flow flip around. Like even your daily money flow is kind of right? Just tanking here. Red dot looking to potentially print. Not the best look. Not the best look. We need these indicators to shape up before we can really confidently call for bigger moves to the upside. And I mean bigger continuations, right? Trends, not a lower high and a continuation down. Let's see. Shout out to Eugene Sky. Says, am I saying that right? Is it Eugene or is it Eugen? But let me know. Here is one thing, guys. We are severely oversold, especially alts. So might get a crazy dead cat bounce soon. Yeah, and this is why I always tell people, right? Like you do not want to be selling on big red candles. I know it's scary. I have panic sold on red candles before. And guess what? I regretted it. So learn from my early mistakes and don't do the same thing. Again, I'm not telling you when to buy or sell, but more often than not, guys, if you get a big dump to the downside, you're going to get at least some kind of opportunity for a retracement. So, but yeah, shout out to Gianni's, says, is the bull run over? We actually just talked about that if you scrub back. I personally, there are definitely signs that are popping up on the charts as a technical analyst, as a technical trader. There are signs on the chart that that the top of the bull market could be in. With that being said, there are also a lot of things that have made us peak out in previous cycles that are not popping up. So for those reasons, I am not 100% on the fence of the bear market 100% being here. There's no way to know that. Any person you ask is not going to be able to tell you that. But that's my opinion, right? My opinion is I don't fall in that camp just yet. But there are a lot of warning signs. So it could be the top. There's not enough on the chart yet for me to 100% call for that. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents. But it definitely could be. I just personally don't fall in that camp. So let's take a look at Solana here. Solana just still bing-bonging around its volume profile here, guys. Yo, this is hilarious. This is like literally, today's the 7th. What were we looking at yesterday? The fresh daily above us. If we get rejected from that daily and lose the POC, it opens up the door to come back down to the value area low. If you watch yesterday's stream, the TA on Solana remains exactly the same. There is, in my opinion, unless you are scalping a little tiny range in here, right? Unless you're, scalping this, long here, back to the value area high, short here, back to the value area low. Unless you're looking to short and long the local range, for me personally, for bigger trades, I would rather wait for a continuation or a tap of the value area low, right? We waited here. I talked about this yesterday. We waited here, right? We got down. We front ran the value area low. I said, I don't like that low. We front ran the value area low, and, money flow was in the red, etc. We had a lot of reasons to expect that, right? Another move down. We come up, POC, Get rejected again, we break the low. I still didn't like this low because we front ran the value area low. We talked about this on the live stream. Back to the POC. Finally, you finally get that tap into the value area low. Once you get accepted into these ranges, guys, there is about an 80% chance you will see the full fill of the range. 80 is not 100%, but more often than not, when you lose the value area high, the next stop is the POC. Lose the POC, next stop is the value area low. So when you front run the value area low, it makes me very suspicious. It makes me think, hey, we're probably going to come touch that at some point. Sometimes you bounce first, but you will come touch that level more often than not. Same thing on the way back up. You hit the value area low, you deviate below. This is where you look for longs. Once you get back in here, the next likely place for price to go is the POC. Flip the POC to support. Next stop is the value area high. You deviate above, get accepted back into the range. Once you get accepted back in, next likely place for price to go is the POC. And then once you lose that POC, obviously the POC is going to act as a magnet, as it is your strongest magnet within the profile. A lot of times you will cling to this like a magnet, but once you lose it, you are going to more than likely come to the value area low, right? So the laws of the volume profile would call, right? Again, we got in here, went to the POC, bing bong around. We can't get back above that daily POC. I'd be expecting to fill that range in full to the value area low, 126.71 to 124.94. So for me personally, bigger trades, I would rather wait for a move down here to the value area low daily, which that daily was also front ran, right? So we come down to the value area low, you have the backup support of the daily. Or if you do just for some reason front run the value area low, which is possible, although less likely, definitely possible, flip that daily to support. I would look to push into the value area high, 786 golden pocket, which is your key level of support. That is sitting between 169.58 and 160.90. Value area low daily sitting between 126.71 and 124.94. So that's what I'd look for. Everything else remains exactly the same. Our 2-day still looks like trash on Solana, right? This would make us anticipate, until this money flow comes back up in a big way, right? We are anticipating lackluster retracements for lower highs and lower lows, where you have the value area low as a key level. You start losing that. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but this is your range, right? That all remains the same. 2-day still looks like garbage. 3-day money flow, 3-day red dot printing, money flow rolling over. So that 3-day money flow, definitely looking trendy to the downside, right? This is another thing when people ask me if I think the bear market's in. That's some of the stuff, right? We got 2-day money flow crossovers into the red. Those are usually longer-term continuations down. But you have to understand that we have seen 2-day money flow crossovers without the bear market being in as well, right? Like we had a 2-day money flow crossover here. It did give us a continuation down. Everybody was asking me if this is the bear market, in which case I very vocally was like kind of laughing about that. I'm like, guys, calm down. Like there's no way, right? Like I was very confident about this because it would have been very low probability. There is no way that this bull market is going to give us a 7% pump above the previous all-time high, right? People were, this is the last time other than this was the last time where I was getting questions about the bear market. And we had key levels of support down here that we were anticipating forever, just like we do now, right? And everyone hated me, not hated me, but like everyone hates when, you bring up the bearish case, like, Frankie, come on, don't kill us, bro, come on. But we did get that move, right? And the 2-day money flow crossover into the red was that anticipation, right? You get the money flow crossover right here. People go, oh my God, it comes down, and then you get a big bounce, right? And then people are probably really bullish, looking for new all-time highs. But what do we see? Money flow is still in the red. Continuation down is likely. We're looking for lower highs and lower lows. Where's the lower high likely to come in at? Golden pocket 786. We come up, lower high right in that zone, and a lower low, right? So this was expected. This was not a bear market, and you had the 2-day money flow crossover. Now, this was obviously, we have gotten a significant new all-time high. We hit 100K, but I just think there's definitely some kind of possibility, right? If this is, let's just say the top isn't in, right? You could still endure a lot more pain here, right? Remember, 55% down in 2021 before making a new all-time high. You guys know where I stand on that, right? I do think the top was the first top, right? But you could see something crazy happen. No one anticipated this to happen. This has never really happened before, right? So we could see something different, happen this time. Maybe we come down here. Maybe we come, where we at? I'm on the wrong chart. Maybe we come down here, bing bong around in this range. Everyone thinks it's the bear market, but it's just one of those mini bear markets before new all-time highs. It's hard to call, right? Until we get down there, right? You can start to analyze the chart. But everybody just wants to know, should I just sell my bags now? It's unfortunately never going to be that easy. So yeah. But anyway, let's take a look. We took a look at Solana. We took a look at Ethereum. We took a look at the DXY. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. Like a lot of these altcoins, right? Like we took a look at Cardano yesterday, right? We were looking at our key level of support being the previous value area high. We came down. We got the bounce. We came down. We got the bounce. Yeah, I think we were here, came down, bounce. Now we're just sitting here, right? If we get accepted in here, right, this is the same thing we were looking at yesterday. Doorway to lower prices. Get stuck back in here. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Can't get back out. POC is likely, in my opinion, 76 cents. Lose the POC. I'd be looking down to the value area low at 71 cents. Simply put, that's what I would look at. Again, like, you know, you do have some bull divs in here to the value area high. Could you get a bounce? Yes. But at this point, right, your higher time frame money flow. Actually, daily's been in the red for quite some time. Two-day red dot and money flow coming out. I would anticipate any bounce to the upside because of the money flow. This is your filter into whether you should be looking for shorts or longs. Money flow comes out, you're looking for shorts. You're looking for lower highs, lower lows. You're going to be better off shorting with the trend rather than looking for giga longs as money flow is fighting against you. So any bounce you do get off here, I would expect it to be lackluster for a potential lower low to come in, right, locally. Right? Lackluster retracement, and then come back in and play in this range. That's what I would look for. I don't think you're going to, like, just nuke through this weekend, so I'll just, you know, keep that as the key levels. You also do have a 786 Fibonacci retracement here, pulled from this low to this high. You already, I don't have the golden pocket here, which usually means that we've already tapped it. Yeah, so you already bounced off the golden pocket, right? But what happens? Money flow coming out. Higher time frame money flow in the red, right? You're looking for lower highs and lower lows, right? So you break below this value area high, definitely the doorway to higher, doorway to lower prices. And in my opinion, that golden pocket's already tapped. So once you get accepted into here, POC, value area low is probably the more likely situation. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, let's see here. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Hey, shout out to Clay the Great. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Appreciate you so much. He said, how can I interpret the AVAX chart for the market cipher B2 day? It just printed a green dot. However, the other daily time frames are choppy at best. Still have a red dot. Shout out to Clay the Great. I'll be honest, I personally would not be trading altcoins unless you're looking for like long-term spot buys. I would not be leverage trading altcoins right now. I would be paying, especially in an environment like this, I would be focused on Bitcoin because you could find the best setup on an altcoin, and if Bitcoin dumps the bed, the alts are going to follow. Don't make that mistake. I made that mistake in the beginning thinking that if I traded altcoins, I would make so much more profit because the percentage difference is bigger, or the percentage moves are going to be bigger. But it only took me getting wrecked on 7 different alt trades in a row because I wasn't paying attention to what was going on Bitcoin. And to have to like trade the altcoins and then keep checking in on Bitcoin, it's like just stick to Bitcoin, right? That's my recommendation. But I'll take a look at AVAX. I'll take a look at Arrow and AVAX here real quick. Let me just pull up chat, make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out with the boys. Let's see. Shout out to the Biomax says, hola, Frankie. Is it Friday? Is it Freaky Frankie Friday? Shout out to the Biomax. Absolutely. Only the OGs know what that is. Summit Saturday incoming. Oh, boy. Yikes. Let's see. Shout out to K Diggity. Said, I'm here for the sauce, but also Phoebe. Shout out to Phoebe. I chat hoping that people see me. What I'm going to do is win this whole dang thing. Then I'm going to buy my goat a blingy ring. Yo, shout out to K Diggity. Shout out to Phoebe. They're kind of a thing. I'm not going to lie. K Diggity and Phoebe are kind of a thing. It's kind of cute. It's adorable. But anyway, shout out to K Diggity. Let's see. Dave Digital said effectiveness is often lost in too much repetition. Shout out to Dave Digital. Probably true. Yeah, down is the trend currently. Shout out to Eugene. Yes, absolutely. All right, so let's see. Shout out to JC Crypto said, Frankie, pull my finger. Anyway, I'm never doing that on camera again, that's for sure. Good Lord, that's gonna get clipped and memed or something. Let's see. I'm just here for the cake. I was told there would be cake. Shout out to Mr. Blake. Stick around till the end of the stream. There will be tons of cake. There's refreshments in the back of the room. Hey, shout out to Wake589. Thank you for the super chat. Said, I have a hat kind of like that, but the all black was too fire. Wifey still got the pink. Let's go. Shout out to Wake589. Maybe, I think we're going to do some hat giveaways next week, too, so we can get some new, some Mafia members, some new hats. They're probably getting a little old. We haven't done them in a while. And if we see you guys in Vegas, we will probably have a ton of hats to give away. So if you see us come up, we'll give you a hat. And we'll want to chat with you. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'll take a look at Arrow real quick. Take a sip of that black coffee. Aerodrome. And yeah, I mean, you're just still within your range here. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the alts, guys, just because everything kind of remains the same. And again, I'm really just waiting. I'm really focused on Bitcoin right now. Because again, if Bitcoin's going to dump, like, we just know what's coming for the alts. They're going to dump, right? And it's always fun to look at the key levels and everything. But yeah, like right now, like you got accepted into your range a while ago, right? All the way back here on the 3rd of February, you get accepted into the range. Next likely stop is going to be the POC. And then obviously the POC is going to act as a magnet, right? You get stuck underneath. You could go to the value area low, right? But you're kind of just bing-bonging around here. You barely retested the POC again. You can't get above this POC. Next stop is likely going to be the value area low at about 50 cents, right? Simply put. And yeah, like this is kind of a big range, right? So I would just really anticipate, like, these are the key levels. I would anticipate these levels to just get respected, right? I would change this fib. I would move this down a bit. Bada boom. Yeah, value area high, 786, golden pocket zone, right? Again, like for the most part, you can stay below this PLC. I'm expecting the value area high to low to get hit. Come down here, potential opportunity to look for scalp longs back up to the high of the range. But if you come up first, right, let's say you don't go to the value area high, you kind of bing bong around the PLC again, I'd be careful for lower high and a continuation down. So yeah, those are really your levels that you're looking at. Daily, red dot printing. Is it printing on Bitcoin just yet? Yeah, there it is, right? Daily red dot printing. Yikes! Yikes! Come on. Don't do it to us, Bitcoin. Don't do it to us. Hopefully that 90-minute money flow doesn't come into the red, because if it does, it's probably going to cause that bigger drop to the downside. But yeah, my sentiment still remains the same on Bitcoin. We expected the red dot. Here it is. But on Aerodrome, those are the key levels I would look at for the most part. That's your major volume profile. Daily red dot. Money flow's been in the red for quite some time here, but daily red dot, you got to be careful. That could easily push us down to the value area low. 2-day. Green dot is confirmed. Money flow still in the red, coming out pretty aggressively. Your 3-day green dot is printing, but your money flow is in the red. I don't love that. So yeah, I would just watch these key levels. And again, Bitcoin dumps. This is probably coming down to that value area low. Shout out to Bragmore. Thank you for the super chat. Says, Frankie Candles, I really, really need your input and analysis on Caspa. I'm down heavy on it, and I'm about to maybe swap to ETH for protection. Shout out to Bragmore. We could take a look at Caspa for you. No problem. I know Bragmore knows this, but super chats do not guarantee we see your altcoin. I don't want people spending money and then being like, what the heck? You didn't look at my altcoin. I wish we'd be here for 24 hours, which I don't know. I don't tempt me with a good time, but yeah, unfortunately it'd be impossible to get to every single altcoin if everyone just super chats them. But yeah, Bragmore, I'll try to take a look at Casper for you. No problem, bro. I got you. Hey, shout out to ADD Dad. Said, get the crickets ready. Yo, shout out to ADD Dad. Welcome in, bro. Hope you're doing well. I miss you, bro. Now I feel like I really know you because we met in person. Shout out to ADD Dad. Let's go. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope the family's good, too. Let's see. Fun fact, ADD Dad was the first person, I think, ever to recognize me in public that wasn't like a crypto thing, right? I get recognized at conferences all the time and stuff, which is pretty cool. But, yeah, he was the first person. I was just like, out with Mrs. Candles, and I heard Frankie Candles. I'm like, what? What the heck is going on? Shout out to ADD Dad. Let's see. Someone sent me here for financial advice. Shout out to Jungle Boy. Welcome in, bro. Okay, so this is what I would look at for Aerodrome. Let's take a look at what was it? Aerodrome and AVAX. We'll take a look at AVAX. Bada boom, bada bing. What's it? AVAX. Okay, so let's take a look here. I mean, you're definitely below your macro value area, that's for sure. Yeah, this is a rough situation because this is not a clean range. I mean, you could pull this technically, but it's not that. I mean, I guess it is kind of clean. Let me see here. Pull it here. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you could look at this. It's not really the prettiest range, if I'm being quite honest, but I will mark this out because these levels are probably going to be respected, if I had to guess, right? So value area high, sitting right here. Let's change that to white. POC sitting right here at 1729, and then you got the value area low sitting at 1237. So, yeah, you can see you lose the value area high. POC is the next likely stop. Right now, we have gotten back below this value area low, or value area high, I'm sorry. Right? So maybe you bing bong around a little bit, but, you know, typically once you start closing some like higher time frame candles in here, you come in, you bounce around, you hit the value area high, right? Once you start getting stuck in here, guys, next key level of support, in my opinion, 1729 at that POC. Simply put. And if I'm being, I don't want to scare anybody. Let's pull up the VPVR real quick. I would say, yeah. Whoops. Yeah, yeah, you have a high volume node, obviously, even though this isn't uncommon, but you have a high volume node confluent with that POC of the range. So, yeah, I mean, you can't get back out here. Yeah, you're back below the high volume node. I would probably be anticipating that POC to get hit. As long as if you don't break out of here, out of the value area high, definitely high probability coming down to that POC. If you come down there, right, and you don't hold the value, the POC, this is going to change now because I moved the chart. Come on. Right, once you get stuck under that POC / high volume node, not a lot of volume here, all the way back down to the value area low, right? Pretty much, right? You have a little high volume node starting at 1339, value area low is at 1234. So, you break down below the POC, can't get back above, you got nothing here holding you up. You're probably going to get a fast move down. Fast move up oftentimes equals fast move down. Keep that in mind, right? This would be the bearish case for AVAX. Hopefully we don't have to see that, right? Hopefully we could just kind of maybe test the POC and then get back out of here and break out. But I'll be honest, like if you're in this range, that is definitely the levels that you would have to be looking at. I'll try to see, right? Like, do we have any fib levels here? Probably not. If I had to guess, everything's just kind of brutalized. Yeah, I mean, we've already gotten the full 786 retracement for a bounce. The problem is that bounce was a lower high, right? Lower high, lower low. Yikes. Yeah, I would be careful here. If you do get a breakout, you got to get above $27 in order to get a push back into your upper range. But at this point, right, like you reject out of this range, you're back in here. POC is very likely. Lose the POC, I'd be looking down towards 1240. I'm not guaranteeing that's the case, but 2-day money flow in the red, 3-day money flow in the red. Any pumps to the upside have to be looked at as lackluster and continuations to the downside. 4-day. Yeah, money flow in the red, 5-day, money flow in the red, 6-day money flow in the red, and the weekly money flow is crossing over into the red. So maybe you can get a green dot on the weekly and get a retracement, but those are the levels I'd look at, right? Probably going to get stuck in here. Can't break out. Whoops. Can't break out. POC is likely. And then hopefully you don't lose that POC. But at the end of the day, once you get accepted into that range, that is kind of what you expect. Oh, man, hopefully that's not the case, but that weekly money flow crossover. Now, I will say this, guys, like altcoins do sometimes have money flow crossovers into the red without it being a bear market. On Bitcoin, it typically is the start of the bear market, right, or the continuation of a bear market. Altcoins do sometimes get crossovers into the weekly during a bear market, so that's a little less alarming than seeing it on Bitcoin. But, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on AVAX. Let's take a look at Caspa. And thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. Smash that like button if you have not already. I greatly appreciate it. Let's take a look here. Let me bring up chat. I'm in the super chats here. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Chris. Said I should have sold in December when my portfolio was at 330K. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's no if only. Hindsight's always 20/20, right? But yeah, it's I mean, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm not telling everybody to hold their bags either, right? But at the end of the day, right, like if your portfolio, say, is up 330K up here, right? And then it goes down, right? Like, who knows, right? Like, if you do get the massive new all-time high, at the end of the day, if you just took your profits and sat out, you made 330, that's great. But yeah, I mean, it's big volatility, right? It's like my dad. My dad trades a lot of stocks. He trades crypto too now, but my dad's like a day trader. He trades mostly stocks, and he's got big swings. I mean, I have big swings too sometimes, but like you got to stomach the big swings, especially on like long-term investments and stuff. You got to stomach them, but yeah, don't feel too bad about that, bro. It's always in hindsight gonna be, in hindsight, I wish I sold all my ETH up here, right? You're never going to catch the tops. You're never going to catch the bottoms. But again, I'm excited to see how this all plays out, guys, because, maybe we do look back and say, hey, that was the top of the bear market. That monthly bear dip was enough. Or we're going to be like, hey, it's, we didn't see all the top signals, and we wound up getting an alt season, and everything wound up playing out. But yeah, I'm just agnostic. I'm open to anything, right? Because I make money whether price goes up or down. And right now, I don't hold anything that I wouldn't anticipate to come back in another cycle. So if we go into a bear market, I bought a lot of alts in the bear market, right? But I didn't buy on the way up at all, right? So if these things come back down to like crazy lows, I still am holding on onto a lot of cash, right? So like I'm in a pretty cushy position here no matter what happens. If we go into a full bear market, it is what it is, right? But I don't know. I still don't really fall in that camp. But you shouldn't just be like holding onto your bags because I think that. I can be wrong, and I've never been. I am the most transparent person I think about that. A lot of people like to make you pretend, a lot of people like to pretend and make people think that they know something they don't know. And I do know a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know because I know how to read the charts. I know how to understand how the markets move. But even then, take that for what it's worth, right? Like even then, there's not much more that I could look at to predict these moves. And I'm willing to say that we don't know if the bear market's in, right? It's always a guess. It's an educated guess. TA and even investing in general isn't necessarily, you could definitely treat it as gambling, but it's really like, I like when people compare it to weathermen, right? It's like you're basically a meteorologist. It's like you could see a storm coming, right? So you could pretty much say with a pretty good amount of certainty, like, hey, you guys, we're probably gonna get rain in this area, right? But as the storm moves closer, if you get a big gust of wind from the east and it pushes the clouds over a little bit or whatever it is, right? Maybe it's not a huge storm, but typically you get a little drizzle, right? So you kind of just have to take. It's very similar. It's like you're just making educated guesses based off information on the charts. And if you guys watch this show, you know how accurate that TA can be, right? And it's not me bragging, right? It's just like TA in general is magic. We literally called that dump yesterday before the news came out, right? Perfect live front run of news. And it's also, right, you have to understand another big part of it, right? Like doing TA and figuring out whether you want to go with the prediction of going up or down, right? Let's say you have more bearish puzzle pieces than bullish puzzle pieces. You might say, hey, the higher probability outcome is to get a dump, right? And this is how we take the trades. This is how we make the calls. But the other half of that, guys, is accepting and understanding where your idea is invalidated and cutting your losses short. That is what separates trading from gambling. Right? If you're just trading, saying, I think it's going to all-time highs, I'm just going to buy here and hold, that's gambling, right? You have to have a plan on where your ideas are invalidated, and you have to get out at a small loss, right? That is literally why, like when someone says trading is gambling, I always say, like, it just really shows how much they don't know, right? Like if you think trading is gambling, you just don't understand how it works, right? Because it's not. Right? Gambling is a 50-50 shot, right? And more often than not, the odds are stacked against you. Even if the odds were stacked against you in the market, you can manage your risk. Right? That's the most important part. That's what separates gambling from trading. That's why you can trade as a business and make money over time rather than just gambling and getting lucky sometimes. You could do that in trading, but if you manage your risk, it totally changes it from gambling to trading. It's a big thing that people don't understand, right? They just think that like you're guessing if it's going to go up or down and you're just betting on that one direction and then that's it. You're just hoping it goes up. That is not the case, right? That's how, sometimes I could be bullish and then the next day we come in and I'm in a short and we're up couple $1,000s or whatever it is, right? It's because I saw signs on the chart that changed. We got new information on the chart. My long trade gets invalidated. I cut it loose, and then I flip short, and we make more money on the downside, right? And if you're cutting those shorts early, right, and you're letting the winners run, small losses, big wins, right? So yeah, let's see. If you don't have a clear invalidation, you don't have a trade. Shout out to Garrett. Absolutely, bro. Couldn't say it better myself. It's like blackjack, not really. Honestly, the reason it's not like blackjack is because it's more like poker, right? It's not like blackjack because whatever you bet, you have to bet, right? You can't see one of the cards and be like, actually, you know what? Let me. I'm just gonna take half of my money back, or I'm gonna take all my money back. I don't want to be in this anymore, right? Because I think I'm gonna lose. You can't, right? You're either gonna win or you're gonna lose, and if you win, you double your money. If you lose all your money, right? That's gambling. So blackjack is 100% gambling. I know there's strategies and everything, but trading is much more like poker. Why? Because you can manage your bankroll in poker. You could fold. You could literally set a stop loss. And you can't, you'd be like, I don't like my shots here. I think I have a low probability hand or trade. This is low probability. It's not the worst hand, but I don't know. There's a couple, I'm not a poker expert, but there's a couple face cards. I have no face cards. Maybe someone else has, trip kings or whatever. And it's like, I'm going to fold, right? That's why poker is much less gambling than something like blackjack. Blackjack's all or nothing. So, yeah. You got to be smart. Absolutely. Shout out to Algo. Oh, can you really? Shout out to Golden Child. Said, actually, you can surrender on some blackjack tables. I didn't know that. Interesting. You lose like half or something instead of everything. Interesting. What do you do with coins that are down 90%? Would you hold them looking for a miracle? Me personally, shout out to Jose. And again, hopefully this, and this is, you shouldn't feel bad about this. Like I'm trying to help you. And it's, if I'm down 90%, this is the way I look at it, right? Why am I down 90%? Well, I was pretty much gambling, right? I was holding on, hoping for the thing to go up, and if it was going to go down, I was willing to lose all my money. Otherwise, I would have cut my losses much earlier, right? So if you didn't cut your losses early enough, which obviously seems like that's the case, and you're down 90%, I would recognize that was your problem, right? Like you can avoid putting yourself in a situation where you're down 90%, even on spot bags, right? You could set stop losses, right? And so, yeah, for me personally, if I was down 90%, depending on the coin, right? Like if I'm down 90% on Ethereum, I'm holding that, right? Like there's no sense in locking in a 90% loss. And understand, right? Like you can round trip. It's brutal, right? But like if let's say somebody round tripped their Bitcoin, right? If you bought the top, right? Let's say you bought the top in 2021 and like now you're down 75%, right? If you ask me, hey, I bought Bitcoin up here, I'm now down here. Should I sell this? I'd be like, there's no universe that exists where I would sell down here, right? At that point, I'm holding on for dear life. And eventually, I know Bitcoin's going to go up and to the right, even if I have to wait a couple years. And eventually, you are going to be back on top in profit, right? But that's brutal, right? You don't want to do that. So, with something like Bitcoin, right? If I were down, I don't know how you're going to be down 90% on Bitcoin. It doesn't really dump that much. But, I guess it could. But if you were down 90% on something like Ethereum, or so, if I were down on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, something like that, something I believed in, and I was down 90%, there's just no, and like even like if I were in on like a meme coin, right, and it's down 90%, maybe I'll like just, this thing's never going to go back up, obviously. Let me just pull out and I'll just take my little money and run. But if I think it's going to come back, even if it's years down the road, there's no reason for me to pull out at a 90% loss unless I needed that money. But you have to understand, guys, like there is no, at the end of the day, all of my holdings, all of my spot bags can all go to, like, we can go to a full bear market and I can fully round trip everything. I'm never going to have to dip into that money or need that money to pay rent or anything like that because I do not invest more than I'm willing to lose, right? It's very important. You have to have a plan, even when you're investing, not just trading, right? We do it on like a hyper micro level, right? We're managing risk and managing trades like multiple times a day, every single day. But on the spot bags too, like you still want to have a plan for your trade, right? Like if you entered in, right? Like I have a plan for Bitcoin, right? My plan was, hey, my thesis, right, if you will, my thesis for Bitcoin was, hey, when that weekly money flow crosses over into the red, I'm going to let it dump. And then once it kind of settles down, I'm going to start DCAing. I bought. I think I bought up here a little bit, and then I cut it off, right, as we started breaking out and money flow started coming up on the weekly, right? I had an average entry price of like 20 to 21K, right? So then what's my thesis from there? My thesis from there is, hey, I think we're at least, right, target number one for me was between $91,000 and $102,000, right? This was target number one for me for this bull market. I did take a little bit of profit here. Very small, right, because I'm looking at that as target number one, right? So I took a little bit of profit here, right? But that's my plan, right? My plan is, hey, I bought down here, and I'm going to hold it until we get up here, and I'm going to start to take a little bit of profit, right? If we come up to profit target number two, 136 to 155K, I'm going to take a lot of profit, right? To be honest, I might even take a lot of profit at about 115K because at the end of the day, guys, like I've gotten most of my gains here, right? Like, so let's see, 21, we'll just say 21K, right? To the top here, I was up 414%, right? 418%, right? If I ride it up to say 125K, right? The difference between 125K and then going up to 150 is 26%. I've already gotten multiple hundreds of percents. I'm fine leaving that on the table. I'm fine leaving that extra 26% on the table and selling a little early, right? I've already enjoyed all my gains here, right? That's why buying into pumps is horrible, right? Because if you buy up here, you're kind of just hoping this thing goes for some crazy target. And even then, at least on Bitcoin, right? This is why most people are mostly exposed to altcoins because of this reason. But like if you go from this top, right? If you're buying up here, right? And you got to move into 150K, which in my opinion is like one of my higher targets if we go into new all-time highs. It's a 56% pump, right? Like that's not what people come to crypto for, right? So in my opinion, we get back above these highs, I'm probably scaling out of Bitcoin pretty quickly, right? Because even if it goes to 200K, I'm not missing out on much gains. I already got a majority of my gains. And that's the beauty of buying low and selling high, right? And it's hard, but you want to set yourself up like that. I was not set up like this in previous cycles, right? It took me, 2016, I had just gotten in, right? 2016, 2017, I had just gotten into crypto. Right, so I was just kind of like messing around with it. It was still pretty new to me, at least personally. Pretty new to the world at that point. But, I was not in that scenario, right? And then you go through 2021, right? I did much better in 2021, right? And then in this cycle, I was like, yo, we're going to nail this now, right? Because I've been looking at this chart for so long. Like this thing, for your cycle, you start to learn much more about crypto and how the cycles work. And then, you add the charts into that. Market Cipher B, I'm just like, yo, when this dumps, I'm doing it, right? We did this on the YouTube channel. I'm like, guys, I'm buying now. Right? And we bought it down to the low, and now I'm just feeling the pleasure of like taking the risk and buying the fear and biting the bullet. I felt like an idiot buying down here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh God, I hope I'm not buying this thing before it goes to 8K, right? But at the end of the day, right? That's why dollar cost averaging is the best, right? Because if you buy, it keeps dumping down, buy, right? Oh my God, we're at 8K. I bought all down here. Nice little average entry price. You could even buy on the way back up a little bit, and then you get an average entry price to enjoy those gains, right? So you have to have a plan. Right? If you don't have a plan, you're gambling. So to answer your question, should you sell your bag at 90% loss? I would never do that. There's no reality that exists unless it was like a garbage meme coin. And it's probably not going to go back up. Then I would maybe take the little money that I had left and then just like go bring it somewhere else. But if it was like a project that I believed in, I would probably just hold it and round trip it after. If you're already down 90%, like you're already basically round tripping it. So like it's either going to go to zero and you're going to lose an extra 10% or it's going to go back up, right? So yeah, I would never sell at a 90% loss. But you have to make your own financial decisions. I'm not a financial advisor. You have to make your own choices. No plan, you lose. Absolutely. And then also just please understand that you're in that situation. How'd you get into that situation? I don't know what you're holding. Is it a random meme coin? Remember that next time someone tells you to buy a meme coin, right? Remember that next time an influencer says, oh, this is the new meme coin, right? Like just remember that. Doesn't mean you can't buy the meme coin. Doesn't mean you can't play the game, but just remember this so you're better informed on the next shot, right? I can't tell you how many meme coins I've bought that went to zero. I buy meme coins still sometimes, right? But I treat it as gambling, right? Like when I buy a meme coin, it's money that I don't care if I see again. It's money that I would literally give away to a stranger, right? If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it's expected, right? So yeah, and then maybe it's a project. Maybe it's like a legit project that maybe it is a bad project and it's not going to come back. If that is the case, remember that. Who told you to buy that project? Did you do your own research, or did you just buy it because someone told you? I don't know your case. I'm not saying this is your case, but I'm just saying ask yourself these questions so you can be better informed moving into another cycle. Let's say we are in a bear market. Let's say we are going down. You want to pay attention now, learn all the mistakes that you made this time, and correct them so you could change your life in the next cycle. It's going to be life-changing money, right? If this is the bear market, there's going to be another bull market, especially with all the bullish catalysts, right? And if we did for some reason go back down 75% to a full bear market, that next cycle is going to have all that fuel of all that bullishness coming in, right? And again, I don't think that's the case yet, but let's say it is, right? You want to learn. You want to be able to change your life next cycle, right? You think to yourself, and again, I don't know if this is the situation you're in, but I know a lot of people are in a situation where they came in at the top, right? So like study what you did in this cycle, right? Like, well, what happened? I bought after Bitcoin was at 100K. Most people that were in crypto for a while were buying down here. So maybe I should change that, right? Well, now, if we go into a massive bear market, now I have an opportunity to catch the lows, right? But remember that. Pay attention to crypto. Double down on your focus in a bear market. That's where the money's made, right? The money's not made up here. The money's made down here on everything. Luckily, I mean, a lot of altcoins are at buy territory. So maybe there's some opportunity there. But again, I would wait for Bitcoin to bottom out before I really looked for anything. Bull run's not over yet. Shout out to Vulcan. That's the camp I fall in. But it doesn't mean it's guaranteed not over yet. Let's see. Shout out to Jungle Boy said, Frankie's a perma bear. No, I'm not a perma bear. I do not think the bear market is here, right? I'm going to be clear. I am bearish. Shout out to Jungle Boy. I am bearish, right? Like, I think we could continue down. I do not think that's bear market, though, right? I think that there's still a chance that we can continue back up, right? But There's a lot of things on the chart saying we're going to continue down. So, yes, I am definitely going to be looking for more downside. But, yeah, I'm not ready to call for a bear market yet, personally. But there are signs that it could be in, right? You have to take it all in and make your own decisions, right? If you think the bear market is in, then maybe sell all your bags, right? Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. Who knows? But I'm prepared if I'm wrong. I have a plan, right? All right, let's see. Double top, yeah. So, like, that's the thing, right? Like, double top, like okay, this was a double top, right? It wasn't a bear market. This was a double top. That wasn't a bear market, right? This was a double top. Not really. This was like a bearish divergence, right? So, like, sure, in hindsight, you could look at a double top and be like, that was the top. Look, double top, that's it. But, like, there's double tops all over the place, right? Like, double top, that doesn't mean end of the bear market or end of the bull market, right? Double top, that wasn't a bear market, right? There's lots of double tops happen, right? Like, it's not only until, like, if this is the top, will it look like the double top was the top? Yes. But I wouldn't even pay attention to the double top unless you're looking at it as from the perspective of like a bearish divergence, right? Like monthly bear div is bearish. Price rejecting the same area twice is not a sign for a bear market, right? It could be a sign for a push down, which could be the start of the bear market, but that's just like not money flow coming out, bearish divergences, liquidity sweep above the highs. That's more bearish. I don't even pay attention to double tops, right? Because you have double tops, double bottoms, right? Like this happens all the time and doesn't always like mark the bear markets. That would be like the least thing that I would look at. Shout out to Nirvana said double top. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so yeah, that's we kind of went on a rant there for Bitcoin, but I think that's gonna help a lot of people out, right? Because like you really at the end of the day, guys, you have to look within, right? Like you're never gonna make money in the market if I'm not saying anybody's doing this, but I just know because I've been here, right? Like, you're never gonna make money just by being emotional and like when is this thing gonna go back up? Is it gonna go back down? Like you have to learn the mistakes that you're making because like most of the time when people lose money, they lose money because of their own decisions, not because of like not even like lack of information, right? It's like you could. It's like being down 90% on a coin, right? Like hopefully, no one sells at a 90% loss unless you have like an absolute garbage coin. But it's just like you have to, like we could go into a bear market, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to round trip all your coins. But you have to make that decision to take the profits, right? If you think the bear market's in and you want to sell all your bags, like that's a decision you have to make. And you might be right, but you might be wrong. So you just have to like pick a plan and go for it and understand that you could be wrong. And if you are wrong, what is your counter plan, right? What are you going to do if you're wrong, right? Like when I'm in a trade, right, or I'm looking for a trade, hey, I think we're going to come down here and we're going to bounce, right? I'll take a long here. But what happens if we come down here and there's no bullish confirmation? Maybe I don't want to take the long. What if there's a bullish confirmation and we wind up breaking these lows? I probably want to cut my loss because we're going to continue down. Right? But if I just hold on and say I'm long here and I want this to continue going up and we come and break this low and I just keep holding, that's my fault, right? It's nobody's fault, right? That's not the strategy's fault. It's not the TA's fault. It's my fault, right? Because I didn't have a plan to get out when the trade was invalidated. And it's the same thing with your spot bags, right? So there you go. And everyone's plan is going to be different, right? Someone who buys Bitcoin at 20K is going to have a different plan than someone who buys Bitcoin at 40K. Someone who buys at 40K is going to have a different plan than someone who buys at 100K, right? So yeah. And then if you make a mistake, understand the mistake that you made, right? And then fix it going forward, right? In the next cycle. And you have to have patience, right? So there we go. Anyway, preach, Frankie. Shout out to K Diggity. Let's go. Michael S said, yeah, sell now, regret later, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Michael S. Okay. Let's see. Not the market maker's fault. Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, it's always your fault. You always have to look within. Blame yourself. I blame myself for everything in my life, right? I say this all the time. Like, if I get, even if it's not my fault, right? If you put blame on other people, you take control away, right? I like to be in control, right? So if somebody, God forbid I get like rear-ended, right? Or something like that, right? Like someone, drives into my car in a parking lot, right? Sure, that's not my fault. I couldn't have avoided that, or maybe I could have avoided it, right? But it's not my fault. I didn't do it. They did it, right? But like now what can I do, right? Maybe you can't avoid it anymore. But like what can I do? Maybe when I park somewhere, maybe I'm going to like try to park farther away from people, right? Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to put like floaties around my car. I don't know. But like just make it your fault. Be like, oh, this guy hit me. He's an idiot. Screw him, whatever. But What could I have done to avoid this, right? I think Andrew Tate says it the best. He said, I blame when it rains outside and I get wet, I blame myself, not the rain, right? Because I should have had an umbrella. So if you get wet, if you go outside and you get wet in the rain, you're pissed about that. You're like, man, why'd it have to rain? It's your fault. You could have had an umbrella, right? That's how I look at everything in my life. Because when you do that, you keep control, right? If you just blame other people like, oh, this guy told me to buy this coin, it went to zero, screw that guy, right? You're putting blame on him, right? When at the end of the day, it's really your fault, right? And in that case, it really is your fault, right? Because you just did no research and you just listened to this guy, right? But even things that you don't have control over, you could still do that and remain in control. It's just accountability. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. After how much time will another bull market come? I mean, if you go off the 4-year cycle, I could just pull up the cycle chart. Where are we? I don't think I'm going to be able to load this up. Where are we at? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I personally don't think we're in a bear market, right? But yeah, it's we'll probably top around, or not top, but we'll just have to wait for another 4-year cycle. I wish I had my. Maybe I'll show it on Monday. I wish I had my cycle chart here. I could just break it down on the chart for you. But yeah, it's yeah, like a long time. If you think this is the bear market now, like we got to wait a long time if you're going by the 4-year cycle. I would say you got time to chill, but I would just focus. I would just double down on crypto. Watch it fall down and then wait for it to be max fear. Oh my God, Coinbase went down. They brought SPF in to put him in charge of the government crypto stuff. Oh my God, this is horrible. Crypto's going to zero, and then you buy. Right? I felt like a moron buying down here. I felt like, oh my God. Everyone's like, I don't know about that stuff, man. Like all my friends and family, my non-crypto people, like, oh, dude, you're crazy. You're crazy. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I've watched this repeat time and time and time again. I think I'm buying at a good time. And I felt stupid, though. Felt very dangerous. I didn't know if I felt like I thought we were going to dump right after this, but it wound up being a pretty good time to start buying. Yeah, shout out to Rattlehead. Do you know about the Pi cycle? Yeah, you can use Pi cycle. I don't think it's as accurate as people think it is, because I think it severely messed up in 2021. I think the Pi cycle said the top was going to be 100K. I think that was one thing that I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what everybody was going by, expecting 100K in 2021 was the Pi cycle top indicator. I could be wrong for that. I'm not going to die on that, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people were expecting the top to come in at 100K because of the Pi cycle top indicator. But you can look at stuff like that as well, right? You could definitely look at stuff. I remember that. Yeah, shout out to the terrible trader. I just remember Pi cycle top indicator. Everybody thought like, oh, it's going to 100K, and I felt crazy at the top too. Right up here, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like this looks bad. This looks like we're about to nuke down from here. It's on video, right? Like it's all recorded. I felt crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna say it. I have to say it, right? The info is here, guys. Money flow coming out on the weekly. We have a weekly blood diamond, right? It was kind of like a plethora of stuff. At this point, we had the weekly blood diamond, which we had never had in the history of time, right? The history of Bitcoin. Blood diamond on the weekly. On top of, actually, funny enough, it was a golden pocket retracement. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is that. Ignore that. That was wrong. But you had your blood diamond, right, on the weekly. Never happened before. You had your weekly bearish divergence. You had an SFP of the high, and you had the monthly bear div. And most importantly, that weekly money flow crossover into the red was happening literally at the same time as that blood diamond. And this is where I was like, yeah, not good, guys. Not good. Everyone's like, I got hate. It's the first time I ever got hated on. And I'm glad I said it. I had some people hit me up and apologize. They're like, hey, man, I don't know. I was hating on you for saying the top was in, but I low-key listened to you, and you saved me a ton of money. And I'm like, you shouldn't listen to YouTubers, but it makes me happy. I helped you out, even though you were hating. It's okay. But, yeah. So, we'll leave that there. Bitcoin pumps every year around the same time. Frank notices his shadow. Just saying, do your own research. Shout out to Tony D. I'm gonna dress up like a Punxsutawney Phil for Halloween next year. Yeah, shout out to Wig589 said Frankie Groundhog indicator if he sees his shadows. 2 years of crypto winter. Did you sell everything at that point? Shout out to Tony Roaz. In 2021, I assume you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't like. I think it's what like a lot of people think. right? Like maybe on some of my altcoins, I sold some of them like at the, but like I didn't like see the wick come up like this and be like, that's the top. I'm going to sell everything. I did not sell the direct top. I started scaling out once I saw this money flow tanking into the red. So like, yeah, I was probably scaling out like around here a lot in this consolidation. And then out here, I was pretty much fully out. I actually did hold, funny enough, I didn't even realize I held on to like a couple of ETH that I wound up round tripping, but most of it was sold all up here. But I did not top tick the top of the bull market. Nobody can do that. You could do that, right? But you have to get lucky. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible to do it on purpose, right? Like you could maybe get lucky and sell the top. I know some people, low key, my dad sells the tops perfectly just off feeling somehow. I don't know how he does it. I don't hate on him though because he does it good. He does it successfully. So he's what ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But you know, it's usually, you know, people aren't like, oh my God, that's it. That's the top. I'm selling everything. So yeah. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Nick. Said, why would I do my own research when Frankie has all the answers? Hey, there you go. Yo, Matt Jenkins said Frankie will. Oh no, I'm sorry, Fabian. Oh wait, hang on. Where'd that go? Oh, shout out to Eric. Said Frankie didn't top tip. He just said that. Shout out to Eric. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Caspa. Shout out to Bragmore. Let's take a look at Caspa, and let's give away some dang Solana. That's really what I like to do. I like to look at the charts, guys, but I really just like to give away money. I don't know why. It's really weird. It's like kind of – I just like giving away money. Like, me and Mrs. Campbell's do this all the time when we're in public. Like, anytime I can, like, tip somebody a crazy amount of money, I do it. It's just like – it's the coolest feeling ever. I love it. And we went to a restaurant the other day, and the good service is hard to find down here in the ATL. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. I'm from New York. In the ATL, they don't got anything on New York service. It's bad. It's hard. But we had a really good waiter, and I was like, I blessed him, and he like came up to me, and he's like, She like went to the back with the check, and I like left the cash. And he came back. He's like, "Are you sure, man?" I was like, "Yeah, bro. You were great, bro. Like it's hard to find good service. You were awesome." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." It was like more than the bill was. I was like, "Yeah, dude, you're great. You're awesome. You're good." He's like, "Thank you, bro. I don't know what to say." I'm like, "Don't say anything. Go buy yourself something. Have a good one." I ran out. It's like the coolest feeling. I love that. I genuinely love that. And when we give away to the CandleMafia, it's even better because I love you guys even more than I love good waiters. Anyway, let's continue on here. All right, yeah, Caspa nuking. Oh, baby. This is not good. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Bragmore. That's like for dramatic effect. I'm not like, oh my God. But it is dumping. You're losing your golden pocket. I'll tell you this. Next big key level. I'm not saying you have to go directly down there right now, but the next key level is going to be the 786 at 0.05 cents. 0.05 cents? 0.053. 5 cents, right? Massive 786. You also have your structural highs here. There's really nothing here, right? So, you know, fast move up, fast move down, right? And you could even say fast move up, fast move down. You got a little bounce here on the golden pocket, but lower high, lower low. Again, same thing as Bitcoin. Bounce, bearish retest, more downside. I'd be looking towards that 786 personally. Money flow on the red in the red on the weekly, not a good sign either, right? For the continuation down. Daily, oh God, you got a daily yellow X. Sorry, again dramatic effect, but yeah, you got 2 yellow X's. I'd be careful here. I'd be careful. These are usually significant signs of downside manipulation. Pretty simple, to be honest. If I pull up the VPVR real quick, you know, pretty big volume gap here, right? I can mark out some of these. Yeah, okay, so this is actually not bad because let me take off the value area high, POC value area low. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Levinati. Says, this guy read chat? Probably too much. I got sidetracked in chat for a long time. Let's see. Oh, shout out to Tony D. I was trying to. He said it's not that it's hard to find. It simply doesn't exist 99.9% of the time. When you spot a good server, you want to tip them 200x. Yeah, we appreciate it. We 100% appreciate it. And honestly, I don't even care about the service. I just like giving people money and like seeing their face. They're like, "What the heck? Like, bro, what? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. This is more beneficial for me than it is even for you. I'm doing this in a weirdly selfish reason. It makes me feel good. But Anyway, yeah. So you can see, right? Like not a ton of support here, right? Let's see. Okay, so yeah, you lost this. No, I mean your next shelf is really sitting. I would look at this, right? High volume node sitting at 0.06 cents. Then you have like another one at like 0.059. Like, yeah, I mean, these are like honorable mention levels, to be honest. Like, these are pretty low volume nodes, right? For the most part, there's not a lot here. There is, yeah, you lose the golden pocket. Once you lose the golden pocket, where are you expecting price to go next? 786. Also accompanied by a pretty decent volume gap. Fast move up, fast move down. I don't know if it's going to happen in a straight line. You might kind of bing bong around, but I would look for that 786 to potentially get hit. So yeah, shout out to Bragmore. I don't know if I think you said you were in a trade. I don't want to like make you make any decisions, right? I could say we're going down to the 786 and this thing go to all-time highs. Obviously, that's the less likely situation. But I would be waiting to see if we could hit that 786. Much high. That's your next significant shelf in volume. You have a pretty big gap. Not a lot to hold you up here. You have these structural highs as well. I would probably be looking for a move down there, to be quite honest. So there you go. Other than that, I mean, looks very similar to everything else, right? Daily red dot is confirmed. Money flow in the red. 2-day money flow has been in the red for quite some time. Weekly money flow is crossing over into the red as well. This might be the start of a bigger pullback, guys. I'm not going to lie. Weekly money flow on the altcoins, right? And like this is Bitcoin at $76 to $70,000 is altcoins getting demolished, right? So these weekly money flow crossovers on the altcoins could give you massive crashes. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Man, what a time. What a time. A garbage time, might I add. Let's see. Short that bee. Shout out to Steve Livingston. Let's see. Yo, Mike Vito said two yellow X's means heck no. I would agree with that. W. Frankie. Shout out to Christina. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Can we do the giveaways the old-fashioned way by liking and commenting on the on another video? Shout out to Nick Dunn. I think we're doing it on Nightbot. I think we're doing it on Nightbot this week. I've been kind of going back and forth. Honestly, ever since Tony just kind of like collects all the winners and pins them, I hated the Nightbot until I realized he was going to do that. It just comes in the winners and then he pins all the winners to the top of the chat. So much easier. Candles Don't Lie said MCB is a waste of money. Learn price action. Try both. Try both. That's what I would recommend. Yeah, there's many times, right? Like I trade, I can trade price action, right? I do incorporate that into my TA and my trading. However, there's been so many times where like the price action is just wonked, and money flow just, oh man, it just gives you such a front run on the trends, 100%. And then obviously the bull divs I look for on Market Cypher B as well, like especially on Bitcoin here. I would say I'm like kind of in the camp of like, I know why people hate indicators, right? Or people hate on indicators. I get it, right? But there's indicators that are useful, right? Like I always bring up like Market Cypher B, 100% worth the money. 100%. I've been trading for years. I've been using Market Cypher for years, right? I've tried every trading strategy. I've tried every indicator. There's not an indicator I have not tried, right? And if I haven't tried it, I've tried a different version made by a different person, right? You can't use an indicator to know when to buy and sell. Right, but you can 100% use an indicator to figure out what the higher probability situation is going to be. Like up here in this garbage price action, right? I would have remained bearish just because of price action either way. But this money flow coming out was a beautiful, beautiful indicator to just sit this out and wait for the drop to the downside. I will never, ever, I would never say it's a waste of money. But I get it. I'm pretty much on that team when someone's like, I have an indicator that'll tell you exactly when to buy and sell. Here's the history of like when price went up, when it flashed a buy signal. It's like, if it was that easy, I would already have a bot trading that thing. I promise you that. It's never that easy. So I get the hate on indicators in general, but the indicators we use, Market Cypher B is 100% one of the very few useful indicators on top of Lux Algo. And one of the reasons I absolutely love Lux Algo is because it'll actually teach you price action, right? If you want to learn price action, which I highly recommend, right? You have to understand market structure, price action. You have to understand how to read candlesticks before you can start to incorporate other tools. But on something like Lux Algo, price actions concepts, this can absolutely help you learn market structure. This can absolutely help you understand price action. And that's why I like this indicator, right? It's not just saying like when this flashes, you buy. When this flashes, you sell, right? That is Non-existent. That does not exist. I've tried everything. But that's why I 100% love Lux Algo and love Market Cipher, because they don't do that, right? They're not buy and sell indicators. You use them in collaboration with price action. And, if you had to trade just raw price action, I think that's fine. I'm not saying you have to use Market Cipher, but I think both these indicators are absolutely amazing. But yeah, anyway, that's my 2 cents. Let's continue on here. Let's get the giveaways going. Let's get the giveaways going. Bada boom, bada bing. Nightbot doesn't trade for you, Frankie. Shout out to Tony Roaz. We're trying to get it. Let's see. Young Peter said, "Yo, Frankie, flash that beautiful head. It's Friday. Let your hair down." What would you guys do if I just pulled out like 3-foot long hair? Oh, that'd be funny. I've been wearing a hat every day on the stream for quite some time, so I probably could have grown quite a bit of hair. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to let Tony, you could drop the giveaway winners whenever you feel. And, yeah, drop the winners, and then, we'll see what happens. Shout out to Luna, said, bada boom, let's go, bada boom, bada bing, let's get it. Let's see, drop the candles in the chat, spam the candles if you want a giveaway, guys. Candles in the chat if you want a giveaway. Tyler says, 10 bags of Ada. Whoa. 10 bags of Ada, 4 bags of Soul, or something like that. Shout out to Tyler. What is the actual number? Let me hit up Tony real quick. Should we play some music? I like this new song, guys. This new song slaps. It's all royalty-free, too. I've never heard royalty-free music slap this hard.
Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed.
There's the
for
candle,
being
let's
so
go.
cheap. I've been sticking to the code,
Purple
and
candles,
I ain't
too,
gon'
yeah.
cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. How much
get
gang
Mrs.
we
Campbell.
packing? We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii. Yeah. Couple fans in the lobby. Yeah. Couple grand in my pocket. Yeah. Couple grams of wasabi. Yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches.
I don't even know who this
Wipe
is.
it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong.
Trying to read
but
chats,
still
just all
so
camp.
weak. I've been hiding a drone, but still low key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately
right.
I've been thinking.
Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so we're trying to figure out exactly how many bags of Soul we have. I think it was 3. But I'm not sure. We'll double check that so we make sure we give away the correct amount. And we got 10 bags of Ada, and Tony D will unleash the winners as soon as we confirm everything. Let's see. What's the track name though? I don't know. It's by Corey Pieper. Corey Piper. I guess it's probably called Money on Me. I don't know. These are royalty-free songs, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like some of these usually royalty-free songs are corny AF. They got some bangers over where we get our gas from. I'm just saying. Like low-key, I got some of these on my Spotify playlist. Like this new one I just found. Oh God, this one's good, man. This one's good. All right. Any hats, Frankie? I think we're gonna do some hats next week. I think we just hit slow mode. Chat just halted. Okay. Biggity bongity. Shout out to Peter. Okay, so okay, Tony D's gonna draw 13 winners while we verify potentially one extra winner. All right, here we go. Who's it gonna be? Let's go. Shout out to Hollywood. Much better. Shout out to 38. Yeah. Who are we going to root for today? Who are we going to root for? Oh, fourth is from last Friday? I don't know. I'm going to have to start taking pictures. I'll start taking pictures of the stuff. I mean, screw it. Let's do 4. Even if we give away an extra. Who cares? All right, here we go. All right, winners are going. Shout out to Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you're getting. I guess the first 10 are going to be the Cardano giveaways, and then the last ones will be the Solana giveaways. Come on, baby. Root for me, Frankie, but for Soul. Okay, let's go. Satoshi Stacker, let's hope you get some Soul, baby. We're rooting for you tonight. Okay, so yeah, shout out to Ronaldo. Shout out to Cricket and Crypto. Shout out to you, bro. I used to eat crickets on live stream when we hit like goals. Now we're just giving away tons of money. Let's see. Shout out to Leonsky. You're getting a bag of Cardano. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to wait for Tony to pin them because I'm not going to count these in real time. Shout out to Boss Man. Let's go. Shout out to Gear. Let's get it. Bag of Cardano for you. Shout out to Bazir. Hopefully, I probably didn't say that right. To claim your giveaways, guys, head into the free Discord, go to the help center, and claim your free prize. Shout out to Crane C. Thank you for the super chat, baby. He says, wait, where are the hats? We don't do hats now? Oh, they're what? Oh, 4 1K like days. I'm going to take that hat off your head. Shout out to Creighton C. Yeah, we're going to be giving away. Okay, so what is that? Yeah, it's like over $1,000 in Solana being given away today. And some Cardano as well. Next week, we'll give away some hats. We're going to have to up that like goal. We're going to go broke over here. Let's see. I'm probably going to shill my crypto music here on the slide. Check it out. Big playlist on all platforms. Just saying. Several genres. Shout out to Road Dog Crypto. You make crypto music, bro? I'll check it out. Shout out to Al Jr. said, candles are green, candles are red. Can I please win some Forsaken said LFG to the 19th power? Shout out to Al Jr. Okay, there we go. So the winners, Ronaldo. Tony, these are, I guess this is the 13. So the last winners are the Solana winners. The first ones in this pinned comment are the Cardano winners. Tony, did you run 13 or did you do all of them? Did you do 13 or 14? I can't count this because chat's moving too fast. John Cena pulling in on that last slot. Nice job, yo. Shout out to Golden Child, John Cena. You can't see him. All right, let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there we go. So he labeled it. So, yeah, shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to Ronaldo. Shout out to Cricket and Crypto. Shout out to Leonsky. Shout out to Xbox 98. Shout out to Boss Man. Shout out to Gear. Shout out to Bazir. Shout out to Colin. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Maheen. I don't know if I said that right, but you guys just won some Cardano. And shout out to Sniper. Shout out to Sniper. Shout out to Lightweight. Shout out to Cohen VG and John Cena. Let's get it. You guys won some Solana. Let's go. Shout out to you guys. Might be the biggest verified. We hit the like goal very late Friday before the stream ended. Shout out to Tony D. Let's get it, baby. Fair and square. Let's go. That is yeah, so that's we're giving away a decent amount of Solana today. That's pretty lit. Let's see. Plus the Cardano. Yeah, so I got $1,400 in Solana and then a bunch of Cardano. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. But there we go. This is what we like to do, guys. We like to give away Solana, and even if Bitcoin's dumping, we'll just start stuffing money in your pocket so you can buy that dip. But, guys, with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you for hanging out. Congrats to all the winners. Congrats, more great info. Shout out to D-Merc. Thank you for being here. Nightbot is on my naughty list next Christmas. Shout out to Peter. Let's get it. Do said, well, they got to have valid phone numbers to get into the Discord. Okay, there you go. Shout out to Tony D. I won. Yay. Shout out to Maheen. Yeah, welcome, bro. And, yeah, we're sending you either Cardano or Solana. I don't remember which thing you won. But, yeah, Shout out to all the winners. Congratulations. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for giving us so many likes this week. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Monday. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pray for Bitcoin. Hopefully this thing doesn't just nuke overnight. And but you guys have all the key levels and what I'm expecting expecting next here on price action. I'll see you guys on Monday. Same place, same time. You know the rest. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
What do you mean, bro? What do you mean you can't pump it? I know it's been 3 times in a row. I know you're doing great, dude, but just please, one more time. For the love of God, please just do it for me. No, I know it's not a money thing, but I mean, I don't want to go back to 76K, dude. You'll see what you can do. I'll do something for you, bro. What do you want? I'll give you a Frankie Candles hat. I don't know. All right. Text me if you do it. All right. Peace. You guys heard that, didn't you? All right. Well, that was Satoshi, my cousin Satoshi, guys. I tried to get him to pump it. He said he might be able to do it. I'll be honest. He's starting to get annoyed with me. I keep calling him, and he keeps pumping it, and I just keep calling him to pump it again. So I don't know. He said he's going to try his best. I don't really have high hopes. So pray for Bitcoin, and I'll see you guys next week. Hasta pasta. Have a great weekend. Go touch some grass. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for all the love. And I'll see you next week. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go. at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the